What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Golden Dice podcast episode. This is number 13, my favorite number, my soccer number, actually. And I'm your host, Jack, and I'm here with Brian and Flockton. Brian, how are you today?
Thriving and surviving, baby.
Flockton, what about you?
Coming down with a cold.
Hanging out with me too much, bro. I've had a cold for like 2 weeks.
Eyes are watering, my nose. Oof.
So what have you been? So we've put out 2 interviews. Like, it's crazy. I feel like we haven't podcasted in forever, but we have put out 2 interviews. One with Jeremy, the one with Tyler. But we haven't done a 3 of Us podcast in probably, I think, almost exactly a month, somewhere around there. I think November 9th actually might have been our last one. But Flock, between this last month or so, what has been going on in your life?
Well, you guys got me to try some Lorcana after PAX Unplugged. So I got the 2 starters of the new set, messing around with that. Tried to teach my girlfriend to play. That did not go very well. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Did you have FOMO? Is that why you got them? I was surprised that you bought them.
Well, I mean, it's just a starter, so they were $18 a piece,
like
and I
35.
figured I'd see if my girlfriend wanted to play a card game. If she wasn't going to get into one, might not be Star Wars, but she might get into Lorcana, and then maybe I can get her into Star Wars. So,
yeah, Lorcana is the good intro one.
yeah, that's why I didn't buy a box when you guys bought boxes.
Yeah. Yo, that Winnie the Pooh playmat that I got, I love that. I think I'm gonna bring that on Thursday, Brian, when we play One Piece.
I'm bringing my Beast one, actually. Yeah, I put it in the tube.
But Brian, what about you? What have you been up to the last month or so?
Not a thing.
Amen,
Not a
brother.
thing at all. Working. That's the same. I give you the same answer every time. Working, One Piece. Pokemon DLC's coming out Friday. Actually, tomorrow night. So that's what I'll be doing the rest of this week.
For the Switch game?
Yeah.
Which one is it now?
Scarlet and Violet.
Is that the one where the Pokemon can turn into bikes?
Yes, actually, the dog bike. The ones that run at 5 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
Super good games. I enjoy them. That's what I'll be doing. I'm gonna do some Thursday locals with you for One Piece.
Mm-hmm. Excited
about that. OP05 came out, cracked some boxes. I pulled the God box.
You did.
I'm stoked. I had a great time. I think that's gonna be a great set. Probably the last one I'll buy before SWU, and then I'll never touch One Piece again.
Yeah, we'll see how the financials roll.
Looking rough.
Yeah.
Not looking positive there.
It does. One Piece does feel, actually, especially since you and I play different colors, the fact that we both buy a box. Well, you buy 2.
You swap across the table. I bought 2.
Literally, Brian and I so One Piece does have like a 6-color wheel, and right 6. Yeah. And Brian plays like blue and black and yellow.
Now yellow.
Now
and
yellow.
Then
It's the new.
Jack plays the inverse.
And I play
red,
green, and
purple, green.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works out.
Though I might be getting into yellow. Starter 13 with Sabo, Luffy, and Ace.
I didn't see that.
It was red yellow. I haven't seen a lot of cards yet, I don't think, but but yeah, so we buy the boxes and then we immediately trade, and it works out pretty nice. I did have to order a few singles, but you figure I did a box, I did 2 of the double packs, and then 4 of the double packs, and then we traded. And I have like a playset. I had to order a few singles, but I sold some alt arts. I made like 60 back. Kerry also pulled a enchanted Cinderella from the Lorcana box we got, and price has gone down pretty decently since then. I didn't sell it fast enough. I think when we opened it was like $250, and now it came down to like $190, $185, and selling it for $165.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, I sold it for
$165.
$165.
For one box, I mean,
yeah. Dude, that's what I sold Elsa.
Entire cost of the box.
I sold Elsa for $450. I sold Cinderella for $165. So I've made profit on Lorcana. And One Piece, I'm down, but I just sold about $100 worth of cards in there.
She has the Midas touch.
Dude, she's got to come with me to get boxes. My SWU boxes, dude. I need
I know.
One of us is very likely going to get
a showcase
in SWU. And
I'm gonna
be so mad when it's Flock, dude. It's gonna be Flock and it's gonna be Boba, and he's never gonna buy another.
No, it's gonna be like Luke or something. That's something Jack wants.
Yeah.
Hot take for you guys. I think that all 3 of us are gonna pull at least a showcase.
No shot. 6, dude.
No. No. Listen. You know me. I'm Mr. Positivity around these parts. Okay,
Oh,
so
definitely.
no, I hope. I mean, it'd be cool. And honestly, I'll just buy one anyway.
Yeah,
If I
maybe.
don't pull it, I don't care.
If they get down to like the enchanted prices in Lorcana now, I probably will. But like when Elsa was 450, like nah, no shot I spent for even on like like I'm loving Sabine and like Han and Luke. 450 for them? Well, I mean Luke you can't actually, but right, that's the starter. So there will be
Yes.
no showcase Luke
So
unless
Yeah.
there's a prize.
actually, I mean, I don't think I even care to buy a showcase for any of the leaders that have been spoiled as of right now.
You're holding out
Um,
for that Palp Daddy.
oh my god, I know. The second
Yeah.
that drops, I'm gonna be like, I'm in. I'm in. But do you guys remember like when we were playing Destiny and we were like, oh my god, $50 for Vader and I only need one of them? That's crazy. This is gonna be
Yeah,
worse.
Destiny spoiled us. Like even
This is
getting
gonna
into
be worse.
Fab and One Piece isn't even that bad, but then
Fab is
it was rough.
horrendous. Fab is awful because like you have to pick one character you're sticking with because the equipment is gonna run you like $500 maybe ish.
I forgot I just mentioned Brian's trigger word.
I hate Fab, dude. I can't tell you what the amount of money I spent on Prism. Stupid,
Yeah.
stupid. Worth it, but not worth it.
I was like, where the whoa? Whoa.
No, not worth it. Yeah.
So this
Anyway.
actually segues into our pre-orders open at one of the stores. So there's two South Jersey ones that we ideally would go to, Comic Book and Top Deck. Comic Book, the last straw for me is I was very open to do them. They're not the biggest or like the best store, but they're local to us and closest to us, and I feel like they would support. But for One Piece, we called like Thursday, and I was like, "Are you gonna have boxes?" And they're like, "Yeah, we don't know, and we don't know what price, and we don't know if I'll have any." And I was just like, "And I'm depending on you guys to get 6 boxes of SWU for
I'd be
me,
sweating.
18
I'd be
between
sweating
us."
right now.
So I will still go there and I'll draft there. I'll do a pre-release there, and maybe even in the future I'll buy some boxes there. But a store in Philly opened up their pre-orders. None of us had to put a single dollar down, right? And all of us got 6 boxes and a 2-player set.
Ooh, I didn't get a starter yet.
Oh, I did the starter as well.
I forgot
I did the starter.
I'll get that later.
He said Redcap said there's 31 boxes, and this was over the weekend, that have been pre-ordered along with 7 starters. And they added more on Monday. So let's look at, I mean, I judge that there's probably 7 individuals. Of those 31 boxes, 18 of those are ours.
That's scary.
Well, there was a moment in time this weekend where like they ran out of boxes for the pre-orders, and we were all together at the time, and I was like, oh crap, dude! Like I thought they'd have enough.
Then they will.
So me and Flock
Yeah.
hadn't bought any. I mean, they will obviously. Obviously, it has a happy ending, but me and Flock are like, oh crap, dude! Like we didn't do our pre-order yet.
Yeah.
And we've been looking and like it was like, oh, we don't have enough right now, and we pinged them on Discord, and they're like, oh, we're gonna add more. Flock texts us like Sunday night, and he's like, hey y'all, just
Got
put
my
in my
6.
6 boxes, and I was like, oh, I should go do it, and I went there, and they're like, we're out. I was
Yeah.
like, there's no way that Flock got the last boxes of
Because
SWU
essentially what they did was like,
to rob me of my dreams, you know.
we don't know how many boxes we're going to get. We'll tell our distributor we're going to get 16 boxes, and then they list 16, and then those sold out, and they're like, all right, we'll add more. And then those sold out, and they're like, all right, we'll pre-order more. So it's just a matter of them telling the distributor. They're just not going to list 50 boxes and then end up not being able to order 50. They're just going to keep increasing by the amount they can actually list themselves for. So
Which is great.
yeah. And they seem extremely confident, right? This is one LGS with one distributor, local distributor, and they are very confident in that they can get as much product as they want, which also is a theme that was echoed very much at PAX by everybody I talked to on staff, of that there's going to be enough product. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to be they're all pretty confident. And it's more interest than there ever was for the maximum interest of Destiny as well. So there's going to be a lot of boxes out in the wild. And this also goes into, we calculated just now, since we're all getting cases, we are getting 2,304 cards per set. We are going to have to sort and sort and sort and sort. Now, I just even busted out, I showed them my BCW card sorting tray. We've got 20 slanted rows, 4 deep inserts, and then just the general area
When you're deep, you're deep.
right here. and I might need 2 of these.
Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. That's for one box.
Yeah,
You have to
Oh my
you have to
gosh.
cycle that every time you open a box. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I mean, that's what all of us been up to. We've got our orders in. We are excited. We don't have to pay till release day, and I think with them we can even do subscriptions. And the boxes are going to be $100, so it's like $20 off. Would have loved if we could have got down to like 95 or something. That would have been great. But
I mean,
we're getting
I'm satisfied.
we get $120 off, right? If $20, 6 boxes. So that's essentially what we saved, which was definitely
Huge.
nice.
Essentially a box.
Yeah.
So
So we could
girl
buy.
math. So girl math. So we could buy one
Go up
more.
to 7.
That mathin', dude.
That's boys math, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, that's
The boys math.
cardboard addict math.
Yeah. Degenerate math.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a month, like I said, since we have podcasted. So there have been several things that we've missed. There's been a few live streams. There's going to be one coming up tomorrow as well. And I'll just simply shout out the fact that there have been a few articles of that. And so far it looks like they had the under constructed article that they posted along with the live stream where Jeremy and Tyler played. And this is where we got the Luke spoiler and the official Jedi lightsaber spoiler. That kind of leaked from Asmodee Europe earlier, but now we got the actual card spoiled. And then they just posted, and it's a pretty basic article. If you've been playing the game, there's not really much for you to take from there, but just talks about, you're building a deck. There's 50 cards, 3 of. Think about this and this when you're doing it. They did post also an event calendar, so if you're interested in going and getting the Luke and Vader promos, they listed everything from December 9th to 10th, which is past, so you missed that, all the way through November 2024. And this isn't necessarily events in which there's going to be competitive play, but it's going to be places where you can go and demo. And there's Denmark, there's London, Bournemouth, France, Louisville, Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, Birmingham, Netherlands. Dude, apparently we got to go to Netherlands, dude. There's 2 more Netherlands as well. So got a lot of those coming out. The demos are actually still really fun, even if you have been playing. We'll get into PaxU and talk about that in a little bit as well. And then the most recent article they posted is Inside Unlimited, and essentially they sat down on stream and all the designers just kind of talked about the game, and it went a bunch of different directions. I don't think anything new was like crazy that we learned from that, but it was just really cool to hear some of their insights on a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it felt like the perfect setup for Tyler. I mean, I think Jeremy, and I have talked with Jeremy, obviously. We did the interview, and I talked with him at PAX. He'll sit there and talk your ear off about it because it's something he's passionate and loves, and as we all feel about those things, you can talk about what you enjoy. But Tyler's a theater kid, so he is ready to
Jeremy strikes me as a 101 guy,
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas Tyler is like, I am going to tell you exactly what I think, and in 7 different ways, and I have no problem saying it.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like there's not much for us to expand. I encourage you to go watch that because it's really just awesome to hear them talk about it. I literally could just, I even joked with Xander at PAX and was like, can I fly out to FFG, just do like a 12-hour live stream and just play Jeremy for 12 hours and just talk SWU? And I'd lose every game, but I really want to do that stream. But I beat him at PAX. I have Jeremy's number. I want to know against him in SWU. And he double ramped. I did the arc into Wing Leader, into the Ozotic gunship, and he couldn't stop it. He could not stop it.
I got smacked up.
But let's segue into that. So PAX, we'll get into our experience in a second. But Brian, I want you to kick off because I think the coolest thing from PAX for us was your interview with Tyler, which you hit out of the ballpark. You did a great job with that. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and do that. It's really fun, really engaging conversations. Before you jump into that, I do want to shout out Saga and SWU Holocron. Saga on their most recent podcast also talked about Josh doing his interview, Banana Crapshoot doing his interview. He wrote stuff down, and they talked about it on the podcast. And then SWU Holocron as well on their website posted their interview. Same thing. He wrote it down, took notes, but then published it in article format. So both those are really great interviews, have some really cool tidbits in them. But I want to encourage you to go in that direction and read that rather than us, spoil that for you. Both those are excellent, and hopefully I remember to post those in the description for you guys if you want, or in the comments. Probably description, because if you're listening on the podcast on Spotify or whatever, there are no comment sections. So hopefully I remember to do that. One of you can remind me. But Brian, take it away. So just whatever. It doesn't have to be crazy long since we encourage people to go watch it. But how was your interview?
Oh yeah, dude. PAX. First of all, let me back up a second. PAX was great. I really like PAX a lot. I had a great time. I had a blast. We hung around the FFG area mostly the whole day. We like strayed across the Ravensburger area for like a little bit, but mostly stayed in the area of the FFG group, and all the usual suspects were there from the streams, and really friendly. Happy to talk with you. Happy to chat with you about just about anything. And Tyler and our interview was awesome. I was a little nervous. I wasn't supposed to do the interview. Jack got sick, and I stepped in and did a little research before. And he really took the conversation in a bunch of different ways that I wasn't expecting. And he was offering a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't really anticipating either. I mean, he was talking all kinds of good stuff. I mean, he's just as electric as he is on the streams. He's there's a clear love and passion that's gone into all this, and we had a great time. He was like, "Do you want to play at the same time, and we can just talk it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And like the game ended up being like a mile an hour. It was so slow because I got distracted. No one cares about the game. The game was, as he said, was for free. You came here for an interview. You got the game for free.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was just so interesting, and I really appreciate him sitting down with us and taking the time to talk about all that stuff. Plus, as Jack was saying, the demos were awesome too. I mean, and we've played with a bunch of different stuff at this point. If you haven't played with a flocked and built deck, I encourage you to check that out. That's a trip. But these demo decks were like kind of
catching
basic on the basic side. Listen, anyway. But the demo decks were on the basic side. They were pretty much what you'd expect from like a starter or whatever. But they're still fun.
They're
I mean, they're still.
They're 30 cards demo decks.
I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, they're worse than the starter.
They're intentionally
they're
supposed
fun.
to be faster and.
But I mean, even as a 30 card deck, I mean, it was still a ton of fun. And I even got to play Xander in One Piece later. We got to do our first draft.
Did you play? Did you participate in that One Piece game at all?
Hardly. No, I was a little distracted.
Playing. I didn't see you do it.
I was a little. Well, I found none of my Borses, none of my Fukurus, none of my blockers. I was having a hard time. None of my cost reduction stuff. Anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point you're here for. But I mean, they're all awesome. Yeah. Everyone from the FFG squad was just so cool. I got my card signed by Jeremy and Tyler, and I mean, it was just awesome. I had a great day. I'd go back for another one if I could, another day, but I couldn't make it the second day or the third day. But
I do love
it was a blast.
That during the interview. So for Jeremy, I went back and found a quote from like 2014, and then for Tyler, I was like, make sure we do research on him. I want to you got to dig up some stuff on him and see what he said about card games or what he's done in the past. And I love that you're like, yeah, so I found this quote from you, and he's like, they warned me about this. They said you guys would do this. So I love that we already have a reputation of digging up their deep, dark secrets from many moons ago.
Yeah, I found one from his L5R days. He was like, oh.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Flock, so how did you enjoy PAX? Like, what was your experience like? I don't know. You can talk about the con as a whole. You can also just focus in on SWU and...
No, it was good. It was fun. It was fun getting to meet everyone, see everyone that we haven't seen in a while, and get to play SWU with the actual cards, instead of doing the little, paper cutouts and stuff. Actually feeling the cards was nice. Mm-hmm. The convention was good too. Got a lot of soda pops.
True. They had the refill
from that
soda mugs.
Yeah, the refill with sodas. Yeah. And yeah, it was fun. I liked walking around. Seeing seeing those game tables make me want to get a game table, but the price is just, oh my gosh. They're like what they're like worm tables, whatever I forget what they're called.
I would live in those.
It's like $10,000 is the base starting on. It's oh my gosh, but they're so cool.
They're like the name brand one too.
Yeah, that's like my dream kitchen table is that.
I always get cheaper ones.
Yeah. I always think of the. You guys have seen the episode of Seinfeld where the guys are living in Kramer's cabinets.
No,
No,
I don't
maybe
remember
not.
the one.
There's an episode where he's got 3 guests from out of the country, and he's like, Jerry's like, "Where do you keep these guys?" And he's like, "Oh, in my dresser. I've got three drawers. I would live in those. Like, I would live in those game tables. They're so like luxurious and cozy." Stupid reference, anyway.
I do wish Carrie and I bit the bullet because we talked about getting one, and we could have before we had a kid, and now talking about spending thousands of dollars on a table is just kind of out of the picture a little bit. So I wish.
Why can't I could?
I
You
wish
could
we
add a
did that.
table, really, and you didn't. What'd you pick? Picked a kid over a table.
Picked a kid.
Holy.
Yeah. But yeah, PAX Unplugged, to echo all the stuff you guys said, talking with Xander, talking with Jeremy, talking with Tyler, talking with Josh, all excellent stuff. It's not only not only are we enjoying the game, but going and meeting them. Like, this game is in good hands, and it gets me excited. And not only that, because saying that makes it seem like Destiny wasn't in good hands. I think Destiny was in people who cared about the game and loved the game and wanted it to succeed, but their hands were tied a little bit. Whereas this is now the combination of, I feel like the hands are untied, they have free reign, and there's people who love this game and want to see it thrive. And the fact they created Xander's position essentially is awesome, because Jeremy loved Destiny, Tyler loved Destiny, and so, those elements were already there, but now in this new game, just seeing them express that, and Josh taking over OP and running that, like, he's really excited about this stuff. We saw the Game Genic stuff in person. We couldn't touch it. It was in the box, but that stuff looked phenomenal. The community was awesome. We had that meetup. It was really cool to meet some people. Xander and Tyler, came out to it, and we had a good amount of people from the community go there as well. Brian participated in the draft, as he mentioned, the first ever in-person non-FFG draft. Half a
Second place. I lost to Thrawn.
Yeah, you lost in the final.
Mhm.
Thrawn. But yeah, event was awesome. People were awesome. PAX Unplugged is a great experience. Reading Terminal Market, great place to get food for lunch. Dude, I'm still like dreaming about that pastrami sandwich, dude. I just want to go back to Herschel's and get another one.
That was a lot of turkey they put in mine. It was a fat sandwich.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right,
Yeah,
any other?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just saying. Any other thoughts on PAX Unplugged and meeting the team there? Any of that stuff?
I was going to say the same thing that you're saying. It does feel like it's an entirely different spirit in the air, whereas people are kind of just overtly excited about the game, right? There's no ill will yet, right? And I hope that yet doesn't come to fruition.
Yeah.
Because I think that you can really tell the amount of effort that they're putting into this, and I've said it in my interview too. That wasn't just me being like, I love you guys. Please like us. I mean it. I think that they're on the right track, and I think that there's a lot of confidence and a lot riding on this.
If there's anything
pressure,
that we
no
are,
pressure.
is we're authentic. So if we have a thought or a feeling, we're probably going to say it. We may not be good. We may not understand. Some of us may not read the cards, but we are authentic.
Wait, I feel like you're hinting at someone that I know.
No, just the
It's
last
me.
part. Just the last.
It's me. I don't
okay.
read cards. Yeah, no, I think that it's going to be great.
Yeah,
Personally,
yeah, totally.
I couldn't be more ready for March.
Yeah.
And they said the same thing. I mean, they're just so ready. So.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so that covers PAX. Loved it. Had fun.
Oh.
If you get a chance to go to a con where they can demo, head to StarWarsUnlimited.com/articles and check out the events calendar. And if it's near you, go and check that out. And eventually I stopped taking the promo cards because we went through so many times.
I didn't.
We have a lot of extra ones. I think I walked away with 4 pairs. I got 2 of them signed. 1 I'm going to keep, and 1 we'll be giving away. Signed. We might do another non-signed giveaway, but then we are going to contribute to our local as well. So
Yeah, I got 3 extras.
So we've got some
pairs.
extras. We're probably going to be so like of the 4 I have, like I said, I'm keeping 1 signed. Going to give away 1 of the signed. Probably give away 1 of the unsigned. So I at least have 1 left over that I'm probably going to give to a pre-release. For red caps if we do that, and just a little extra prize to get people excited. But yeah, so we'll be giving those away. Check our socials. We'll be doing that. Probably starting on Monday. Probably run about a week. Maybe it shows up for Christmas for you, a little Christmas gift from Golden Dice Podcast. But we'll be giving away the signed and the non-signed. It'll be the same thing, and we'll just pick 2 winners from that same competition. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. And if you're in our locals, be on the lookout for us donating prizes to some of the extra stuff. And we also have some other things in the works that ideally are good to go by March. We talked about getting some more stickers. I had a bunch. Yeah, I see them back there actually under R2D2. Some Golden Dice stickers. We still have some of our Savage Asajj stickers, but that's more of an inside joke from Destiny that you guys haven't been graced with yet. We have,
I want one of those.
It was the meta deck in South Jersey. We'll just say that. And
What meta? Who's meta?
The
Basement League.
the Disc Track Basement League.
Savage Asajj in the shot colors.
So, looking to give that away. We were talking about making some custom dice, and I think we're going to do that. Maybe order just like 100 custom dice with the Golden Dice logo on the one slot, and then 2 through 6 on the other. And that being a way that we'll give those out if you play us at a store championship or see us at an event that we can give to you, and it's just a way to determine who goes first. Use it for your roll off. But yeah, that covers that first bit. So now we're going to jump into a little bit. We are fortunate in that we're probably one of the 3 people that have played the game some of the most, right? Other people shout out Garbage Rollers, shout out Tower Number 9, shout out the League as well. There's a lot of videos going out, definitely. I'm not saying that like we're the only ones. There's definitely people who have played much more than us anyways. But probably your average people in the Discord we've played more than. And so we want to kind of take this chance to dive into some of the decks that we've liked. What are some of the plays that look into that? And just some things that if you're looking to do TTS, if you're looking to do this monthly league, at this point it's midway through December. So maybe January you kind of look at it, because especially the rest of December is probably jam-packed, at least for me it is as well. But we'll go through, and each of us brought a deck as well, and we'll have the images up on the screen, and we'll talk through some of that. So I'm up first because everybody was scared of that. And so for me, the first one that I want to shout out, I've been playing a lot of Luke, and I was really torn on doing Luke, but I feel like, especially with today, I almost needed to do Sabine because of 2 tubes and K2SO. Ironically enough, they're not in the deck right now for me, but Red Hero has gotten so much in the last week, which is just crazy because it was like cunning, which Sabine actually uses, so it wasn't terrible. But now there's actually been some really, really good red cards as well. And so we'll talk about some of these a little bit when we get into spoilers too. But one of the biggest things that this deck got was the Spec Force Soldier. It is a 1-drop, a 2/2. It's a Rebel Trooper, and it says when played, a unit loses Sentinel for this phase. So this is really good because they just straight up lose it. This isn't like Saboteur, where just that unit can ignore it. This makes it so your Sabine, your 2 tubes, your if it's in space, your A-Wing, your Red 3, all these things can just pass by. Now, I do want to note, and it was confirmed by the Gandork in the Discord, checking with the official rules guy at FFG, if someone loses Sentinel, it can gain it back as well. So, for example, if you have a cell block guard, and I play this, and it loses it, and you respond with, I believe it's the Gladiator Star Destroyer that gives a unit Sentinel for this round, it would then have Sentinel again. It doesn't knock it out for the entire round. So if there's other cards that give it as well, maybe there's like a... What are all the 1-drops? There's the one that attacks, which I got in here, Snapshot. There's one that gives Saboteur, right?
There's one that gives experience for green.
Yeah, the experience, the one is just a 1 plus 2 plus 2, right? What's the blue one? The blue one's just the 0 plus 3?
No one thinks about blue. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but... So if there is a future card...
Resilient, right?
Yeah. If there is a future card that does that, then it would get around it. But either way, that is a very good card. It's a 1-drop. It also helps, I said I love Luke, so I'm very excited to see that, so I can stop playing R2-D2, and I can play this guy because he qualifies as a 1-drop hero that I can turn 1 play and give a shield. But there's that, and it also came with Precision Fire, which is a 1-cost event. Attack with a unit, it gains Saboteur for this attack. If it's a trooper, it also gets +2 for this attack. So there's a lot of troopers in this deck. There's the Spec Force that I just mentioned. I believe the Partisan is a trooper as well. Gosh, this image is so super tiny. I wish I blew it up a little more. He's a Rebel Trooper, the 2-drop, who's also there as well. That might actually be it. Maybe the... I can't even remember gosh, so many cards are so old, and I'm trying to stay updated on some of this stuff that it just falls. The Rogue Operative. Rogue Operative is a trooper as well. It already has Saboteur, but still, paying 1 for +2, if you think about it, we pay often 2 for Surprise Strike, and that is a +3, whereas this is a pay 1, gain Saboteur, and potentially +2. And like I said, there's a good amount of troopers, Fighters for Freedom, the Partisan Insurgent, and the Spec Force Soldier. So this is a very aggro deck. I expect Sabine Yellow, maybe Sabine Red to be meta come store championships, store showdowns. So this is a good deck to pick up and at least have familiarity of how it works. I'm not saying my 50 is the meta, but it also got some really good buffs in the recent weeks as well. And Red 3 is another card I want to point out. It gets direct comparison to Dodonna and Veers in that it essentially works the same, and specifically Veers, right? Different aspects, different decks. They're not trying to say that I should run Veers in my deck, but people started to cut Veers, and essentially he's a 3/3/3 that gives +1/+1 out to everybody, whereas Red 3 is a 3 cost 2/3 with Raid 1 and gives out just Raid 1. So it just gives out attack. But I think having 3 health in space is much more valuable than 3 health in ground. So Red 3 I think is really good to play in space. You can't get force choked, so it takes out one of the best cheap removals in the game. I mean, so it can still die, but not a lot of things can trade into it just yet. But this puts up the stocks of the Imperial Interceptor, the one that the 4 cost when you play it, deal 3 unit damage to a unit in space. So those stocks come up. If you're running a red villain, I think that card is like an auto include now because there's a lot of good space cards at this point. So I mean, this deck really just like straight up turn 1, any of the Lothal Insurgent, Partisan Insurgent, Sabine Wren, or the Green Squadron A-Wing are all amazing. The Spec Force Soldier's still fine turn 1 as well. It just feels bad to float a resource if that's your only card. But like any of those cards into Red 3 are going to be very, very good. So this deck just literally turns out it goes face. Has some stuff like Surprise Strike, like I said, to get rid of that. Asteroid Sanctuary I love because you can exhaust the unit, give a shield to one of yours, and then kill a Sentinel if you don't have anything else to get around it. I think, Brian, you even did that the other day. I think you gave it in one of our gameplay videos. You gave a shield to the Lothal Insurgent and then killed Flock's cell block guard. Like, that was crazy value in and of itself. And you exhausted like a different unit. So you can keep going face with this. And one of the things, if you do start to play this, value initiative more than Sabine's leader side than you think in the early rounds, because sometimes it's just better to open attack with your units than give someone the chance to play removal or ambush unit in to kill some of your stuff. So I've used it almost every round after Sabine dies and I get her leader side back, but early on I feel like I just don't use it as much. And Jet has actually kind of been a little bit weird in getting value out of it. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to play Sabine, but a lot of times you like need the initiative, and sometimes this can be a little bit late because you're going wide. So there could be an argument where you do go to the 30 health base, but
yeah, I felt it was a little slow.
But I still think it's worth it because sometimes if you don't have Asteroid Sanctuary or Precision Fire or something to get around Sentinels, slapping a -4 on a Sentinel and then you trading into it and they get no value out of it still feels worth it to me. So that's how I kind of feel about the deck.
Outpacing them.
Yes, you want to get value trades, and when you are forced into a trade, ideally you're just going face the whole time. Yeah. But it's looking a lot better. The Fighters for Freedom are looking better. We're getting more and more good red cards with Spec Force, with Partisan, with Sabine, Green Squadron, Red 3, Precision Fire. All these are very, very good and impactful cards in and of themselves. And now you get an extra ping damage with Fighters for Freedom. The card that impressed me the most that I wanted to try out actually was the Partisan Insurgent. I was unsure how I was going to feel about this card. The 2-drop 1/4 gets raid 2 while there's another red unit. But playing that, I loved it. I think it worked really well. You do that into Fighters for Freedom or Red 3. Those are really good turn 1 and 2. But I don't know. That's pretty much my deck. And I know if you guys have played this a little bit, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about it or things that you almost feel like, well, Jack, why didn't you include this, right? My list is not perfect, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the deck is fast and it's scary and it's kind of hard to mitigate if you're not prepared for everything that's in the deck, you know? Like, if you're not thinking about what the other person's doing and you're on the other side and Sabine's looking you in the face, you're going to go up to 25 real fast or 30 real fast. So, I mean, the only thing I don't know about, and this is probably a bad take, is the Falcon in that deck. I think it slows things up a little bit. It's great. It's a great card, and it's fast and it comes in ready. But like I think it just like in Han, it's perfect, but in this, it's like okay, it could probably be something else. I think.
For me, it's just the fact it comes in ready and I can do 3 damage the turn I play it. It just makes it all the worth it for me to go facing this.
And that's huge. It does just create some clunky options though if you're not like careful about what you're thinking about.
Yeah. One of the things that has changed recently for me is adding Black One in. Normally I went for directly resources because that brought out Sabine, and then from there, if I had a 2 and a 3 in my hand I wanted to play, I would then go to 5. So at this point, the deck operates, you go to 5, so you can play your 2 and 3 drops, and then if you get Black One and you need to play Black One, then you go to 6, so you can get more gas in your hand. I'm still not 100% sold on it, but in theory I think it sounds pretty good, and I haven't needed to just yet. I've killed people fast enough to where it didn't matter. But that's the point of Black One. If you read my article, I essentially was like, don't go above 4, like stay at 4, and change that to 5 essentially, and then 6 if you need to go to Black One. But that's kind of the resourcing of this deck. You go to 4 no matter what. The second you have a 2 and a 3 drop you want to play, go to 5, and then when you need the Black One play and have it in hand, go to 6. But yeah. All right, that wraps up my Sabine. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I covered a decent amount. Of it. I mean, Flock, do you have any thoughts on this going against it as well? Are there cards that you hated to go against when me or Brian played it? I don't know if you've played Sabine yet. You've only played
anything I play against, I don't really like playing against, to be honest. But no, I mean, I think you hit most of the points there.
Yeah. Cool. All right, next up, Brian has a deck to share, and I guess for all our listeners,
I'll explain.
Well, I was gonna say even for my list, like anybody that's not watching necessarily, these deck lists. Mine is published also like on SpooDB, so you can find it there as well and keep it updated. But I'll post lists to all 3 of our deck lists in the description as well if you're curious of any of these lists, because I don't feel the need to read out all 50 cards for each list. But I'm gonna turn it over to Brian. His deck is now up on the screen.
Yeah, I didn't publish mine because I didn't think anyone really cared. But unsurprisingly, I'm a dark side villain player primarily, like I was in Destiny. I probably will be in SWU. I mean, Luke has surprised me a lot, but the decks I run primarily are Vader and Krennic. And Krennic has actually surprised me a lot. I think the Krennic has some legs, but like primarily, I'm just a Vader guy. Like Vader's playstyle makes sense to me. He's a big stick. You just swing. You know, if you can make it long enough, you dodge, dip. You know, you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, stay alive till the end, and then you clean up. But to my dismay, I have actually come around on the 25 cost bases, so I'm gonna run Vader with the ECO. And like I've come around to how important ambush is and how important these keywords are, and I think that they do give you a stark advantage compared to the 30 cost base. And I'm just gonna have to build up my big boy pants and accept that I don't have 30 life anymore, But this is a pretty standard list. I mean, I've got DJ Laser and Resupply for ramp. I've got your basic Imperial package, the 1 cost, and the Snowtrooper Lieutenant for sneaking out damage. I've got the 2 lightsabers at 2 because I don't think playing 3 of them is worth it. They might gum up your hand. I mean, even playing them on a 1 drop is good, but I don't want to rely on that. I'd rather have more bodies on the board because Waylay exists, other cards like Takedown exist, Vanquish exists, so on and so forth. It just feels bad. I would say the standouts of the deck right now are Fifth Brother and Overwhelming Barrage. I haven't gotten a chance to play with the Raider or the Devastator yet because we haven't. I haven't played the Vader deck in a while, and I've kind of been messing around with the different colors. But Fifth Brother's just insane. He ramps so fast. His on attack is good for like clearing out shields. It's good for ramping up his own damage. It's good for clearing out other 1 drop with 1 health. He's just really versatile. And then Raider and Overwhelming Barrage, like, together. Nuts. Ruthless Raider, you do 2 damage on the way in, on the way out. You're already going to be up to 7 for Vader's ability anyway. Palpatine and Devastator, between these three last cards here, the Ruthless Reader, the Palpatine, and the Devastator, I'm trying to get the right balance as far as how many I want to include. But I'm not too sure yet. You need kind of bombs to clear things out in case Vader does get dealt with prematurely before you can kind of clean things up, as it were. And as far as the cards that I haven't tried out yet, I do want that one Saboteur card, the Precision Fire, because I have enough troopers in this deck, and Saboteur, I've been complaining for weeks now that villain has no Saboteur. This is unfortunately my answer for now. I might have to grip a couple of these when I'm starting out to make sure that I can clear out things, especially if I'm playing against something like Luke, where he's just going to get a ton of shield down and make things like R2 impossible to deal with, even though he's like a 1/4. So there's a couple different things that I'd like to try with Vader, but red green feels like the best for right now. So this is where I'm at. I don't know if either of you have thoughts or whatever have you.
Red Green Vader won the first ever TTS tournament. It's broken. Needs a nerf.
I don't know if broken is the word I'd use. But, he definitely does feel solid. He's like a way. I'll put him at like A tier. I don't think he's quite S tier. Yeah. I think there's other decks that will take that spotlight for now. But I do think that he can hold his own, especially if you can kind of like throw things in there to like surprise people, because his tricks. He's not a very difficult character to figure out. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I only run 6 cards that can't ping off of his ability. I think that's important too, because that'll help you kind of clear out stuff while you're waiting for Vader to come out.
Yep. There are 2 events, right?
Good.
Resupply and Open Fire.
Yep. Resupply and Open Fire, because Force Choke is villain and Overwhelming Barrage is villain. So you just got to be careful as far as like what's in your hand and think ahead to see what your game plan is. I wrote an article. I don't know if it was this specific one I threw up there. It might be. I did blue. Okay. Oh yeah, because I talked about Vader and the Walker. But I think this is the front runner for right now. And if I was running blue, I'd still do the 30 cost base. That one sucks. Sorry.
Oh, they give a shield. Yeah.
I don't.
You tried that. You tried that once.
I don't need that. It sucks. Shields don't really matter at the end of the day because you can just smack into the base. I need to have other alternate routes. So that's about it. I think I could talk about Vader for hours and hours, but I won't bore you all. Next time, I think I'll talk about Krennic. I think I'm going to write a Krennic article soon, actually. As a matter of fact, I might do mono blue Krennic.
I think Krennic's real good.
Mono blue Krennic isn't. Mono blue Krennic isn't, but he's fun.
I mean, we'll see when the set comes out, but currently,
no, he's not good, and neither is Vigilance. But that's none of my business.
But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty standard. I almost feel like the Vader decks a little bit have to hope for a little bit better of a curve. Like, I feel like your 1 drops are good, your 2 drops are good, and then it's almost like
anything before 5 sucks.
I'll say like 4 and 5 are a little weird.
4, 5 are terrible. 6 is kind of awful.
Because you have a lot of
to be fair, yeah, I have a ton of 3s, and that's my lists always end up looking like 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 8 Palpatine. But I do think that, like, and this isn't me complaining. I'm Mr. Positivity tonight. That's me. That's my thing, right? But I will say, we got a lot of villain stuff at the beginning of this reveal cycle, and it has been a drip feed since. Hero is getting so much stuff. No, don't give me that face. I feel it in my bones, because every time a card comes out, I'm like, no villain. No villain. We got 2 today. 2 tubes, which they call me that in high school, by the way. 2 tubes and K2.
You could put 2 tubes in your deck.
I could.
You don't have any other.
But I won't. I don't have any red. Yeah, I have
the Trooper, the Fifth Brother, and the Interceptor, I guess.
Well, that doesn't really serve me right now, But no, 2 tubes is great. 2 tubes is awesome. Just not for me. Not for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you lose Vader's ability.
Yes, and that's important.
Yeah,
I do think that is pretty important.
Yeah,
as an extra mitigation factor. But that's my thoughts. Over the clock. What the people really want.
Oh yeah.
What people really crave.
Brian's turquoise Dana Scully.
Dana Scully.
And we'll
Oh, that's what
transition-
that word is. I was trying to figure out what that word was.
Which?
Turquoise. That's not how you
Turquoise.
I did not know how you spell it.
And
Okay.
so we're gonna go
That
on
answers a lot of questions.
to Iden Red by Flockton. So
All right. Yes.
take it away.
So Iden just got spoiled, and I loved Iden in Destiny, and I really liked her ability. So her ability is if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, exhaust to heal 1 damage from your base, and then when she comes out, it's whenever a enemy unit is defeated or leaves, yeah, you get healing 1. So it doesn't have to be like on attack. It's just whenever it happens. So I kind of like that difference in this. So it kind of plays towards how I feel like I would like my kind of play style I like to play. And do it on Tarkin Town. That'll be good. I'm still not sure if I want to go blue, or I mean green.
You have to go blue.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure if I want to go green. So I'm still working on it, but right now, red just making the deck felt better. The green felt a little. I play tested a little bit. It felt a little off still. I think it's still missing a few cards, but I could just be playing it wrong. I don't know. So we'll give it a shot. But the Iden Red's where I'm going. So for starters, just normal drops with Death Star, Stormtrooper, TIE Fighter. My 2-drop is the Scout Bike and the Snowtrooper Lieutenant. Those are my 2-drop units. I like Entrench in this deck. Entrenched is going to be basically my second action when I deploy Iden Versio, is to put her out. She gets a shield. And then I entrench her. And allowing that gives me 7 attack. So I can literally almost kill every single leader out there on my first attack. So I really like that move. That's what I've been going for. That's like a must in this deck, I feel like. And then that stinks because you can't attack the base, but I feel like with her, it's going to be basically get back up to 25 health and then just keep knocking people out. One of the reasons why I went red was I felt like you got a lot more lower cost removal with like Force Choke. That's one of my 2 Force Choke, and then Open Fire. Not a huge, talked about earlier, Open Fire is not the best removal, but for right now, I feel like as we are right now, I want it in my deck for that 4 damage. Whenever if I don't get entrenched and I want to kill off another unit, that could be helpful too for a 3 cost. And then I have a lot more ping and damage with Death Trooper and Fifth Brother. That's going to help ping off shields if I need to take off shields or do damage. It's great dropping Death Trooper out there to just kill a 1 or 2 health unit to just be able to Iden heal right away. So that's like a quick way to just kill someone and heal without them really being able to stop you from doing anything with that. So I like that play a lot. And the air feels kind of bad for some of the red air units besides the Imperial Interceptor. So I have the Disabling Fang Fighter right now. I don't know how long that's going to stay in here, but it was really good for removing shields, removing experience tokens. And for 3/3/2, I think it's not a bad unit at all, especially if you can remove any type of experience tokens or shield tokens. I think it's just a decent card to put in there for space. And your typical cell block guard and General Vers. Vers. I still don't know if it's Veers or Vers.
It's Veers.
Oh, yeah, because Lear from Pokemon. Veers. Okay, I'll remember that now from Lear. All right. Don't give me that look, Brian.
Soggy top.
I wouldn't.
I made a Pokemon reference for you.
I wouldn't last a minute up in your brain.
No,
I don't know
you
how
would
the
not.
neurons and the synapses connect, but they just like the roads are closed, brother.
It's all
They take alternate routes.
Yep.
It's I-95 up in his brain.
It's 42 and 295. Take as long as you want to work on yourself, man.
Yep.
15 years, 20 years, it's fine.
So those are all general stuff. So there's a lot of Imperial units in this deck. So Veers basically helps every single unit out here, which is awesome. And also, if you have Veers out with Iden is also an Imperial, so gets buffed as well. So I really like that. Takedown is becoming one of my favorite cards. I don't think I've played a whole lot of blue yet, and I've been really, really liking Takedown. One of the facts is you can use it, and when someone has a shield, you can just kill them anyway, which is awesome. So you don't have to worry about shields. If you can get them down to 5 health and they shield up, you can just kill them. It's fantastic. So I've been liking that. And that's one of the reasons why when I was making the green deck, the only other removal you have is Overwhelming Barrage. So you have Takedown and what's the other blue removal?
Vanquish.
That's just and Vanquish. So you have Vanquish, Takedown, and then you would have Overwhelming Barrage, and that feels like such a. Yeah. It's so expensive, and they're all expensive, so you have no early removal. So right now, that's kind of the reason why I'm on red. But we'll see how it goes with that. That's why I've been messing with red. Imperial Interceptor. Great card. I think everyone loves that card. That's awesome. Tie Advance just 2 experience tokens. If you can get that out with Iden, you get 2 experience tokens on Iden. She goes up, from what is she, a 4/6? I forget. 4/6 to
4/4.
Or 4. She's a 4/4. She goes to 6/6.
And then you entrench her. She's a 9/9.
Yup, it's
9/9.
You can do that all with the 6 tokens because that's when she comes out at 6. Oh gosh, yeah.
No, I think those lines are good. Like being able to buff up your leader is always good.
Yep. And I kind of feel like that's the way I'm going to because I always feel bad. I think Brian struggled with it too in the beginning where it's like, you don't know when to deploy because you know they're just going to die right away. So kind of like it's a huge feels bad sometimes because I know when I'm playing my first draw, I was like, okay, what am I going to do I know I say this now, when I actually play, I don't do it. Haha. But first thing you want to do is, okay, early on, I need to find something because XYZ is going to come out this turn. I need to have some sort of way to stop or remove or mitigate damage when their leader comes out because you want to get them off as soon as possible. So it feels bad. So I kind of like the idea with the shield and everything and then just beef her up and just stay alive. And then towards the end, late game, and then Jack told me this, why green's a little bit better in this case because when you get to the end game, you have a lot more bigger stuff towards the end to blow up stuff. So right now, for red-blue, I'm just stuck with Ruthless Raider and Count Dooku.
Whoa, stuck with? Those are great cards.
I mean,
they're definitely
Ruthless coming down and doing 2, right? It's on play, deal 2. I mean, that could
2 to a unit and 2 to a base.
Yeah, that gets your ability off.
No,
usually.
it's definitely good, but it doesn't have the big bombs. Yeah. Oh, either or.
Right, it's either deal 2 to the base or deal 2.
No, it's and. No, deal 2 damage.
Oh, and I was thinking the when played when defeated. Yeah. No, I can't.
Read?
I can't. I don't play.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, clearly. Yeah,
bust out the flashcards.
Hey, Felt Table does not mess up, okay? So I was doing both.
It does. Felt Table's not a judge. But a great resource, nonetheless.
Yeah. And then, Count Dooku is fantastic. Comes out more shielding and more. You play Count Dooku, you can get her ability off. So there's a lot of ways to trigger the ability. And you don't realize, even like 2 or 3 times getting her ability off can win you the game because so many times you're like, I wish I had 2 more health, 1 more health, I can't win. If you get it off just a few times, can save you.
Yeah, like we've talked about how 25 health base, like I mean, we've pretty much come around to the point where it's 25 health. Almost all those effects are worth it, but it does stink to lose 5 health. Whereas Iden can essentially operate with a 30 health. But I think the big question for me, and I think that's something that we should track as well, is who heals more, Iden or Krennic? And I think that'll be the question to who's a little bit more viable. But I do like that she's a trooper. I think that's awesome. And I think like running red, like you mentioned, you want to add precision strike and haven't. She's a trooper, so she gets that +2 with it as well as being saboteur and stuff like that. And yeah, the fact that she just heals on defeated stuff, I think is pretty cool. And I mean, it's actually kind of funny that her direct counter is the card that she's also on in Takedown. That's the only card right now I think that can kill her the turn she comes out. At least within 1 action.
Yes.
So yeah,
because everyone else has to be able to remove the shield.
Yeah, they'll have to like ping a damage and then do that. So
low cost leaders name a better.
Yeah.
Name a better
well, also, I mean, Count Dooku can also kill her as well.
Yeah,
but you're taking her out at 6, so Dooku. So I mean, you can get to blue green that does ramp. Yeah. Yep. That definitely is. If they're at 7, definitely be thinking about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the only other card that piques my interest is Avenger as well, which we'll go through as we get to the spoilers. But that's the 9-cost capital ship, and that's the when played on attack, an opponent chooses a non-leader and defeats them. So it's like having that constantly defeated and being able to heal off that is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And go ahead, bro.
Do you think Overwhelming Barrage is worth an include in this list?
No,
I think it is.
No,
you don't think so?
I think we're starting to get away from the point where 7 Overwhelming Barrage
You're going to 7 for Dooku anyway. I mean, what do you have here? You don't have
Well, I'm only
anything
gonna
that's,
go
like,
to
high
7 if I have
damage, so-
Dooku too. So
Yeah, you don't have anything high damage.
yeah.
Actually, like 6 damage isn't worth it, or
But
7
like
damage
I'm
isn't
even
worth
cutting
it.
because we used to do that. The only time I actually really ever took that was hero green decks, and I've started to get away from that even too. Like Chewie, I don't think it's worth it anymore at this point. Hera, I don't think it's worth it anymore at this point. Like there's actually some half decent options to where it'll have similar effects at 5, so you don't have to pay 7 for this removal.
I redact my statement.
Redacted.
You don't have anything high enough. Redacted.
I mean, I don't think
you
you're
don't have
crazy,
anything high
Brian.
enough.
Like
to-
if you build
No,
this,
I think he's crazy.
If you build this, you're
But
like,
it's worth
I'm going to
thinking
put
about.
3 in. I
Right.
think that's fine because like, why not test probably, arguably best card in the game, top 5, like
Yeah.
wherever you want to classify it. Like that at 7, which we've done before. I don't think you're crazy for trying that. I just don't think it'll end up there.
Yeah.
I think it's worth
I mean,
a shout. But
the great gameplay basically if you can have Iden with entrenched on there, and then all of a sudden with Veers out there, and then drop an Oberlin Barrage, that would be
Iden with
fantastic.
entrenched
But it's like
what?
Iden with entrenched and tie advanced experience will put her up to what, an 11?
yeah.
No,
mean,
that's isn't that what we said? She's a 4.
With-
She's a 4/4. She goes
Which is
7/7.
a 4/4,
and
so
gets 2.
7 plus 2, and then plus 2 from overwhelming. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, from
11.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. If
A pie in the sky situation. No,
if
it's
I-
not gonna happen every time. I'm just saying, if you think about it, there are some lines.
If I
In a perfect world.
if I play units and nobody interacts with my board, I can buff them 100 times with Tarkin and then play Overwhelming Barrage and do 30
If your
damage.
opponent
Yeah, sure.
is asleep on the other side of the board, that would be perfect.
Your opponent
Perfect.
is probably going to interact with what you are doing. Yes, but
Yeah, no,
having it on a leader, yes, there are less interaction options because there's a leader. You can't vanquish it. You can't waylay it. Yes, but if somebody's sitting there letting your Iden Versio get to
I flocked it. Could you not see that happen in
True,
the flock?
true.
My Sabine got to a 6/9. A 6/9.
Giggity.
What?
giggity,
That's a
and then I
Giggity.
said nice.
Giggity.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
nice.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah.
If your opponent is drunk like me.
I didn't interest me a lot. I think the trooper keyword could be really cool, and especially like if you go into green, that lets General Sagi Tagi interact with her as well. There's some lines you lose. Man, both those options seem really good. It's really gonna have to be full set. We'll see. But currently, I think red or green are both good options for Iden.
Yeah.
But my question simply comes down to I'm more concerned whether or not she's more effective at healing the base than Krennic. I almost posed that question before I posed what color should Iden be in. Because Krennic's restore 2, so if he gets 2 attacks off and heals 4, is Iden going to heal more than 4 on a consistent basis? And that's the question. And his effect is also not only does he heal 4, he's also given +1 to damaged units throughout the entire game. So that's my only question with Iden. My only concern with Iden. But the shield coming out's awesome.
Iden's interesting. That's for sure. I hate that she's 4/4. Like, the shield helps, but the 4/4 just sucks. Flockton, why do you keep picking these leaders with 4 health? Crazy.
Who's the other one? With 4?
Well,
IG.
IG's gone, dude.
Yeah.
That thing is that ship is sailed.
We banned it.
Thank God.
We
we banned it.
Yeah, I learned my lesson after trying to do mono IG, getting spanked. I was like,
8 times.
it was the last time I played it. I played the mono twice, I think. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. This is awful.
It was 8 games before you learned your lesson.
That's right,
But
you counted.
the funny
I
part
did count.
now is you're getting more cards. There's Precision Fire. There's Two Tubes.
Yep.
There's Ruthless Raider. There's
Yep.
the Partisan Insurgent. There's Fifth Brother. There's actually
I know,
some
right?
cards that could go.
All right, I'll
into
go
it.
back. All right,
No,
I'll
no,
bring
no,
it back.
that was not
Mono
permission.
red
No,
IG.
no, no,
There we
no,
go.
no.
I'm bringing it
No,
back.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
There's
Leave him.
It's just funny that when there was Flock was full mast when Cantina Braggart got spoiled, and now there's cards that are 10
I had
times
one
better than
game where
man.
the braggart got off.
Oh,
Yes.
you what?
Yeah, it
So
was
they got
one
off.
game.
Did you get them
You got
off?
off? You
Did
got
get
full
the-
mast?
Did you-
It
Did
got
you
off
put-
with full mast?
Okay, all right.
Anyway,
Okay.
moving on,
Anyways,
moving
all right, but so those are the 3 decks: Sabine Yellow, Vader Green, and Iden Red. If you're interested in playing any of those, again, those descriptions will be in it. You guys don't have to worry about publishing them. I can publish them just on my
No one wants you to publish that list. Trust me.
thing as well, and just so people can see those. But at this point, we do. So we're gonna get into spoilers. We are way behind. We mentioned a month ago is when our last one was, which we are going to kick off with Thrawn. So that's how far back we are. But generally, we're going to try to breeze through some of these ones that you guys have seen and played with already, and much discussion has already happened, and there's not much new for us to add other than we did try it, and we liked it or we hated it. So that's kind of what we're going to do up until probably around Jin is when I think we'll start to say, like Jin and Luke area is when we'll be like, all right, what's our
Now we care.
expectations? But all right, any other thoughts on Flock's deck before we move on?
Great job, buddy.
Thank you.
We'll see. Hey, so the Flock's big. I thought Flock's biggest issue was going to be deck building, but we got to teach this man how to trade cards. Flock, what's your
Trade
experience
cards,
in
resource.
CCGs compared to the rest of the team?
Just Destiny.
About 20 seconds.
And the only reason why I was good at Destiny because I could roll 2/2s.
Well, I will stand up and say I'm the first person that thinks it's funny to slander Flockton because if you've been around him for more than 10 minutes, you would enjoy it too. But Flock has like some of the most top cuts made. And granted, he did it in upstate New York, where it was like him and Alan, the only two participants in the event. But Flock did make a bunch.
Alan won.
And I will firmly stand by the fact that Destiny was not simply won by dice over the course of a tournament. You could win a game by dice, definitely, and you could lose a game by dice, definitely. But over the course of the amount of top cuts that you made and finals that you made, that was not all just luck. So Flock will get there. He just needs some flashcards.
I felt like the episodes of SpongeBob were pretty patties, where I had the Raylo mats where I was just giving away at the end of a tournament.
I got one.
You have more top cuts than any of us.
I had like 8 or 10. I just started giving away all the Raylo mats.
Make a top cut.
I didn't make a top cut. Not a single one. I did not in that matter. I did make a top cut. I made 2 top cuts before.
Well, I meant from that era.
Not from that era. I didn't.
You have like you made the Vader.
I had a deck. Yeah, I made the Vader one. I had the Fear and Dead Men, and then I have the Ohio one, which we didn't get a mat for. But
well, that wasn't a top cut. That was just Swiss rounds. Till there's.
Let me have that. Let me have that.
You won the event. I'm not taking.
I did win the event. No.
There's just no top cut. You just won.
A little win. Yeah, no, Flock's great. Flock was great at Destiny. I was so frustrated playing against Flock.
Yeah.
A lot of it was turn 1. He had Han Iden 2/2, 2/2.
Some of those basement games do make me
bully
want
a
to just quit the
character off
game.
the board. And he's like, I think this deck has legs.
Well, dude, that was the tilting part. Like, I could get past losing because, like, it's dice, it happens. But the fact Flock would build this, like, crummy deck that did nothing and then, like, rolled out max
Counters Ray
damage.
1.
Dude, I played, like, the meta deck at one point early on that I wanted to try, and that was, like, the Night Sister Balatique. Like, I forget what the red character then was. I don't know. But it was a very, like, combo-y deck. You used Night Sister to reroll stuff to get max value. Flock just turned one-shot Night Sister, and then just, like, blew me up and was like, yeah, I think this deck is pretty good, you know? I think it's... And I'm just like, you didn't even do anything other than roll dice. What are you talking about?
It counters Ray 1, who has been out of rotation for 2 sets now.
Nah, she wasn't out of it. He beat Tommy and then got off with the continued braggarts in the corner.
Full mast.
He was full mast with the bracket.
Full mast. Bragart.
Soggy Toggy watching.
What a sentence. Spoilers.
We just kept adding on. It was like, pass it down the lane or whatever.
Whisper down the lane.
So spoilers. We're going to get into those.
Who's first?
And we're going to kick off. We're going through. We're going to go in order. So for you guys, if you're following SwooDB as well, and any listeners who like to just go on SwooDB and follow with us, I wanted to make it a little bit more professional look, and we talked about it probably a week or so ago, trying to make it a little bit better. Okay, bud. But so we're not going to just go off the website like we had before. We actually have images of them as well, and we can still, I guess, read them. We'll take turns reading them, and I'll kick us off. We're Grand Animal Thrawn. He's a leader. He's yellow villain. When the action phase starts. What?
Say Grand Animal Thrawn?
Grand Admiral.
You said grand animal.
Grand animal. Sure. When the action phase starts, look at the top. We'll play that back. We'll go to New York.
Yeah, we're gonna
we'll
play that
send it.
back.
Have them check.
That's a booth review, real quick.
Yeah. Look at the top card of each player's deck. So you get hand knowledge no matter what. You don't know whether they keep it or resources, but you do know what's in their hand. Potentially 50% of what they draw. He's an Imperial. He's an official. He has an action. Pay 1. Exhaust him. Reveal the top card of any player's deck. Exhaust a unit that costs the same as or less than the revealed card. And then he comes out at 6, and he's a 3/9. And essentially, his ability is the same thing as his action, but you don't have to pay for it. It's just when he attacks.
That's a novel.
I think, yeah. I mean, Thrawn usually is.
Yeah.
I think all of us look at him, and none of us are looking at him and say that he's terrible, but it's hard because leaders get direct comparison to who is the other one in their color, right? There's not many times where I play Luke yellow, and I'm like, I should just play Jin because Jin can flex. You know what I mean? Like, there's flex, but the direct comparison sometimes can be Luke to Chewie because no matter what, you have to bring blue, and the question becomes like, what's the other thing? And that's like what we talked about just now with Iden and Krennic. So you could go a few different ways, but if Krennic ends up healing to have more impact, why would you ever play Iden? And that's kind of where Thrawn goes into. Is there a reason to play Thrawn over Boba? And he feels like he's a deck that stalls and stalls and stalls, but doesn't remove anything because he's just exhausting it. And then if you do want to remove it, you still have to attack it or pay for removal anyways. It's kind of weird. And I think eventually we'll start to see cards or almost need cards that deal damage or do stuff to exhausted units. Kind of like how Boba is. Like, that's probably one of the best plays with Thrawn is exhausting a unit and then attacking with Boba into it to deal the 3 damage, on the attack. So for me, he's not there yet, and I think we're all kind of on the same page. He's a little slow, and once you finally ramp and get to the point where you like Thrawn, you've probably already lost because you didn't do anything for the first 5 turns. Anyways, with his leader ability. So I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's a set 1 leader. A good set 1 leader.
Agreed. Nothing else to add.
Yep.
Cool. All right, Brian, you can take the next one, and then Flock can take the one after that.
Yep, you got it. So Outer Rim Headhunter is a 2 space unit, yellow, only yellow, cunning. 1/3 fringe vehicle fighter, raid 1 on attack. What's up? What?
Yellow, only yellow, cunning.
Only yellow, cunning yellow.
Whatever way you prefer to
attack.
hear that, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing because for so long I was just like yellow, blue, red. So on attack, if you control a leader unit, you may exhaust a non-leader unit. Solid 2 drop. Nothing else to add there.
Yep. I like it. I mean, not the best, but it's definitely good.
Yeah. I like it with leaders that have large health. And that's pretty good. I think some of these aggro decks, it's not worth it, like a Sabine. I don't know if it's worth it. Now, Sabine does come out early, so actually if you play this on curve, it might still be alive when Sabine does come out. So like if you play this turn 1, it could still be live turn 3. Feels similar to an X-Wing, and I don't love X-Wings, but it now has the raid 1, but the on-attack ability. So I think it's fine. I think it'll find its place in some decks, but yeah, kind of what he said.
Cool.
All right, Flock, you got the next one?
I can try. So, Regional Governor, Unit Ground. I'll start saying that so I don't put him in the wrong arena.
Wedge.
Yep, he should be in space. All right, 2 blue, a 1/4 Imperial official. I almost said officer. When played, name a card. While this unit is in play, opponents can't play the named card. I don't like this. Definitely not my play style. I can see it being pretty good, especially if you're playing, I guess, blue into a meta deck that has something that you just don't want them to touch. But usually those cards are usually towards the end, so I don't know how much towards the end you're going to want to drop this. I mean, you could probably drop it mid-game and say, I don't want you to touch Overwhelming Barrage. So I think that's a pretty good play if you know they're going to do it. But, towards that time of the game, they should probably be able to easily knock out a 4 health unit. But more playtesting, I think it definitely can be good, but it's going to be more of a high ceiling where you got to know what the other opponent's deck's going to do and what they're going to want to do.
I think this is just Thrawn tech. I think it's
You know
gonna
what
be
card's
better
coming
the
up.
more. Yeah,
That too, yeah.
I think it'll just be better the more sets that there are. Like the
Yep.
more card pool we have, like this might be a huge card come set 2 or even the end of set 1. Like who knows what's going to be out there that you just don't want on the table.
So, so I'll probably still post it tomorrow because I did the commentary already. But I did my Chewbacca green versus Brian's Thrawn blue. Brian played regional governor turn 1. Flock, do you have any guess or do you remember what he said?
I remember what he said. Should I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Yoda, right?
Yes, correct. So
Yeah.
he was trying to block out. He was trying to think real deep about what would be a turn 1 played where I could just time skip Jack's turn 1, and he can't play anything. And what does Brian say? He says a 3-drop that I couldn't play anyways. So in those areas, regional governor is terrible. But
Yeah,
I think
you
like
have to think about what your opponent has, and if you can't like. There are going to be archetypes in this game where, like, there's a standard build where you bring, there's only so many turn 1 plays you can have or turn 2 plays you can have, and it makes sense. But right now, like, we could have anything in these decks, and I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. There's only a few options right now, but like, I don't know what matters.
Chewy, but like, so like against a low cost deck like a Jin or Sabine. Or even like IG, I get it because they're running so many 1 and 2 drops that they probably have multiple plays turn 1. But I'm pretty sure Chewy, the only like turn 1 plays I have are like Arc,
R2 and
the Marine,
3PO
and the surgical droid. I think I don't even think I have R2 and 3PO.
You didn't run the droids? Well, yeah,
No.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't give a shit.
So
I
in
don't
that
care
specific
about the
instance, it
turbo
wasn't
droids,
really a
you know
huge
what I mean?
deal because I had the restored Arc in my hand as well. So if you called Battlefield Marine, I would have been able to play something.
Yeah,
anyways.
there were other options that you had,
but
the only thing I could think of in that moment.
But it is
was
good
Yoda,
because like
you know?
it's almost like a pseudo sentinel. Like Flock mentioned overwhelming barrage, and I think that's a really, really good card to call against that. And if I know it's crazy, insane. Do that during a game now.
I know, right?
But like think about it. If I'm going against like say Tarkin, and Tarkin's one of the biggest power plays is playing overwhelming barrage turn 4 after having like a decent board with some experience tokens on it. But you play a governor to where he can't do that. Tarkin almost has to like kill your unit. And maybe Tarkin still goes base, it's aggro, but you get the point of like if your big play is overwhelming barrage and you say that, it's like, all right, well now I got to kill this 4 health unit, which probably takes 2 attacks. Even something like going into Vader, if you say super laser technician or resupply, like think about how much that can kind of screw Vader over of doing what he wants to do. So I do think this is a good card. I do not think it goes in every blue deck, but I think it could be a sideboard option. I do think Brian said a Thrawn card as well. I think those are both perfect options. I don't think it's the most overpowered card, but they also did confirm that if you say unit, it's every type of unit. So if we get like a Luke for the next 5 sets as well, and rotation is 6 sets, so there's a point in time where there's 6 different Lukes, all different costs to abilities, and you play regional governor and you say Luke Skywalker, they can't play any Luke Skywalkers.
All right, but what if it's, hear me out, because we know this from Destiny, what if it's, what is it, was it Boosh and Leia?
Yeah, if they have different
right?
titles. So if it says Boosh,
So they're different titles, right? Okay.
that would be different, yeah.
Okay. Even though it's the same person.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was something that Tyler mentioned in our interview too.
Yeah, he went in
Where
depth about
in-
like the different
yeah.
Yodas and stuff too, which is
Yeah.
cool.
So they would probably have different.
Cool.
Anyway,
So we did a good job at spending limited time on the cards that we know about. But the
I
next
can't
one
help
coming up is Black One. It is a red hero space unit. It is the Scourge of Star Killer base. It is 4 attack, 4 health, a resistance tag, vehicle tag, and a fighter tag. And it says when played, when defeated, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. Discarding your hand, if it is the last card in your hand and you play that, you discarding 0 cards counts as 0, so you can filter back up. So that's why it is now included in my Sabine deck. It's a way to help me finish the game, not in and of itself, because 6 for 4/4 is pretty terrible. It's our same complaint that we said about Iden, her coming out on 6 and being a 4/4 is pretty rough. Her shield's a little saving grace. This draws saving grace. So that's what you're trying to do on that. The resistance is not a real keyword that matters at all at this point, but I'm sure that's something that'll come into play a little bit more. But it's cool to see sequel stuff coming in. Regardless of your opinions on any of the movies, I want all the characters in this game anyways. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's a good card. I think it's situational. 4/4 startable for 6, but decks that really want the card draw on turn 5 will like this. So, my take on it.
I don't
agree.
have a take.
I have
No
nothing else to
opinion.
add.
Cool.
It's hero.
It's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's hero. I don't know what it
exactly
does.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, you got the next one.
Sure. Chimera is a space unit, 8 cost, unique yellow villain, 8/7 Imperial vehicle capital ship, shielded. On attack, name a card. An opponent reveals their hand, discards a card. With that name from it, again, Thrawn tech. I don't like this ship as much as the other ships that have been dropped so far. Like, I'm definitely going to be playing like a Ruthless Raider, Avenger over this, even the Devastator over this. Like, this just feels like the same issue that Thrawn has, where like it's good, but at this point in the game, you're probably already losing or have lost anyway. So it feels like a little too late, and like the on attack, it has the same issue with Thrawn with the pacing, where like if you could cheat this out, like if you could ambush this out, not to the base flock, if you could ambush this out, maybe a little bit better. But I think that like at base value, I'm not interested in this card too much. I'd rather play a different capital ship.
If it was one played, I think
Yes.
the stock goes up, but yeah. When you start to get
If it
these
was-
units at 6 or more and they don't have an on-played effect, or static keyword that work, like, you know, Obi-Wan has Sentinel when he comes down, like, it's rough, man.
Hey, it's shielded.
Yeah, but that means nothing.
Yeah, but that's not, you've already lost at that point in the game.
Like,
So
if I
it's
play
not the same
Dooku at
thing-
7 and he's shielded, but he
Yeah.
also defeats a unit and you waylay it, I'm going to still be okay. If I play Chimera and you waylay it, I'm going to cry.
If you waylay Dooku, I'm thrilled about that. You can just keep churning out
Not
Extra kills.
necessarily, right,
most of the time.
but there's at least you got value out of that. You paid 5
Yeah.
or you paid 4 for a takedown and they removed your 3 cost body or whatever.
If this was a one played, the same thing as a regional governor, great
Yeah.
card. This sucks, personally.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just a rare. As I say, I wonder if it's
Oh yeah, the black one's a legendary, Headhunter's a common, and the Governor's a rare.
I don't know if we should start saying that or not.
They'll catch up.
I was just wondering in terms, and they another thing we said in the interview, or maybe outside of the interview. I can't. It's all jumbled together now. But rarity doesn't exactly mean that it's busted. It just means that it has a higher ceiling of potential,
Yeah.
more or less, is what they've kind of hinted at, and they've said that on streams too.
Yeah. I feel like you definitely could tell commons are like draft stuff, but
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. I mean, I do think commons eventually will be phased out, right? If it rotates like Destiny and there's 6 sets in play, wouldn't surprise me if most decks don't have a lot of commons in them. But for now, I mean, I think you will.
Some good comments.
All right, Flock, you're up next.
All right. Patrolling V-Wing. Unit space, 2 cost green, 1/1 vehicle fighter, 1 play, draw a card. Now, I would say it's as good, but I've already talked to Jack. He says it sucks, so I say it sucks.
There are much better
Card
options.
draw is not as important. Card draw is good, sure, I agree. That's why I said I like black one. But not to pay 2 for a 1/1, dude. That is terrible. Terrible. What does that do?
Dies
Nothing.
immediately. It's not even something that the other side is worried about. Even
It trades the peak
It's a
play
mosquito.
is that it kills a TIE fighter, which isn't
It's a
even that good
mosquito.
of a card regardless. Anyways,
Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad. I don't think this will be played at all in any deck. I mean, it's probably a fine draft card, right? We just talked about it's a common.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
even then, like,
Definitely probably a draft card.
it's probably like the last
Card,
few cards.
card draw and draft would be good. More
Yeah.
options.
All right. On to the next one, and this is me. This is Fifth Brother. He is a 3-cost ground unit. He is villain red. He is a fear hunter. He has 2 attack, 4 health. He's Force, Imperial, and Inquisitor. And it says this unit gains raid 1 for each damage on him, which means he gets +1 while attacking for each damage on him. And says on attack you may deal 1 damage to this unit and 1 damage to another ground unit. So you can even attack the base and still ping shields and stuff like that. And raid is also is stacking anything with an integer stack. So it could be raid 5 and he gets a +5 attack. So really good. You can attack the base, ping shields off. Force, one of the better traits we've seen so far. Imperial's fine. Inquisitor means nothing as of now. But yeah, I mean he's really good. He cries at Tarkentown if you're going against Tarkentown, but I think he's good. He's even got like decent synergy into stuff he probably doesn't normally have. Like obviously he synergizes with Grand Inquisitor, but you know he also works with Vader in that you can have the Fallen Lightsaber. You can ping with Vader, and then also Imperial. You could even play him in Tarkin and buff him there as well.
It feels good with Force Choke. Gives you a Force unit.
And a Force unit for Force Choke, yep. He's a decent body in Boba Fett as well, and helps kill stuff as well. So, yeah. He's good all around. He's an uncommon.
This is like my favorite unit that's been spoiled in the last like 6-7 weeks. He's goated. Speaking of
Little bro.
unlikely situations, I was playing on Felt Table exploring a Grand Inquisitor deck because it's not even worth printing out. And I have him in there. And I stacked, I think it was like 2 Fallen Lightsabers on him. And I think at some point, somehow, he got up to 16 damage. I don't remember how I did it. 6. No, 6.
That puts him at 7 health.
Yeah, I think he was at 6 health. So we got raid 6. So you're at 8.
Well, Fallen Lightsaber makes him a 5/7 vanilla.
Yeah. 2 Fallen Lightsabers I put on him.
Yeah.
But not the point.
So 8/10.
Yeah. He's huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Even without that stupid scenario I just said. But he's goated. I like him a lot.
All right. Next one, Brian.
Snapshot reflexes. Upgrade. 1 cost, yellow. When played, you may attack with attached unit. +1/+1. Learned. I don't care. I don't think this matters. It's a good draft card. Good limited sealed card.
I like it in Sabine, and that's currently the only deck I think I have it in. But even then, I think it's like the 45th to 50th territory. Definitely could be taken out.
Play Surprise Strike.
I mean, I do. Yeah, I mean, I play both. I mean, paying 1 to attack and getting +1/+1 is fine. I don't think it's terrible. But yeah, I mean, something like this is probably just better in draft than it is constructed. But I think it's worth a slot potentially right now, but nothing too crazy. All right, the next 2 cards, if you're following in order on the website, we are going to skip Bamboozle Medal Ceremony. Jeremy brought those 2 cards on the podcast with us, so we talked about them, so we're going to go ahead and skip them, and we're going to give Flock the next one.
All right, Jin Urso. Action, attack with a unit. The defender gets -1, -0 for this attack. And then when she gets 6, you deploy. I've been messing with her. She's been fun. Definitely, if you like to battle and fight, she's very good, very fun to just take fights. You know, it allows you to easily trade more. Units get to last a little bit longer. Anything that normally just trade 1-to-1, they stay alive. So, very fun for that aspect of it. I like her.
Flock, have you ever played a game with her where you didn't use her ability?
No.
Or he did use the ability.
No, didn't you?
Really?
Wasn't the game that I posted today? You like just
I didn't
use her
watch
ability?
that one, but usually I usually do.
You did use the ability at all. What did you post? What did you post today? Was
Luke Jin.
Luke Jin, I think.
Sure was. No, you didn't use your ability at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sometimes can be weird to think about. Sometimes you're just like, attack.
Yeah.
Like you normally would. But, I mean, her ability's going to be really good. She is a common. I think she's going to be really, really good in draft / sealed. But I also do think she's just, in general, a good constructed card as well. Cool.
Yeah, pretty good health. 4/7.
Yeah, 7, she's going to stick on the board for a while. That's good. 6 feels weird, but, I mean, 4/7 is a pretty good stat line.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Next one is Outmaneuver. It is a 3-cost event. It is just yellow. It's a tactic. It says choose an arena, ground or space, exhaust each unit in that arena. So that is both your opponents and yourself. There's probably a deck that this goes into. Could be like decent with Thrawn or like something that's going late, but currently none of us have played this or included it. I think it's
Not interested.
fine, but I don't think it's as crazy as it could be right now. It's an uncommon as well.
I mean, it could be good as something where like you have all space or all ground, and you want to just do a lot of damage on that turn, where you can exhaust their entire space, and then just smack them face on ground.
Yeah.
Because there will probably be a time or a meta where it's like all space, where it's just ramping out a bunch of space units, where they don't care about the ground. I have a feeling there's gonna be one deck in here that's gonna do that.
I feel like you leave yourself open when you play this card, though. Like, now your opponent has... Because ideally you're playing this at the beginning of your turn. So
You do
your
have to
opponent
open
has
with it,
nothing... Yeah, your opponent
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the resources except, like,
Play units.
mitigate exhausted stuff that you can't attack with either. Like, it just doesn't feel optimal at the moment. I don't see a purpose except to just save yourself a turn where you can maybe get yourself another resource. You know,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you're
I think
climbing
like
for
Flock
another
said,
resource, but
is
yeah,
you go heavy ground or heavy space, and they counter that, and you just exhaust their entire space because you don't have any units, so you don't care about it, and that's probably the cap. Or it could be just, hey, let's all time walk a turn so I can get to another resource because next turn I bring out my leader or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. All right. On to the next one. Brian's an expert. He played Chewbacca with this guy as well. So, yeah.
I like him. Yeah, Wilderness Fighter. He's a 3-cost Jack. He's a 3-cost blue trooper ground unit 2/4. Comes in shielded. I like him a lot. I think there's potential. I would especially probably just probably put him on the board and then entrench him if I could, and just make him a 5/7 like beat stick. I think he could be great at clearing units, especially with the shielded. If you are running the 25 cost blue base, you could double shield him. I don't know. I wouldn't run that personally, but I'm just giving out options.
I'm not double shield. I probably once the shield comes off, next action to shield it.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Because double shielding
just
feels
as
bad
last
if it gets
power.
waylaid. Yeah.
Right. Waylaid, vanquished, takedown. I mean, he's susceptible to anything. He's a common, right? He's not going to be the best card in the world, but there's still potential there. I mean, he's a cheap, good unit that you can do a couple things with. So
Go with Chewbacca sucks elsewhere. All right, moving on.
I think Krennic. I think he could be there in Krennic. You know, you missed this. I was gonna say you entrench him and then kind of use him as a beast to clear out the arena, right? Because you get that extra from shielded, though he is susceptible to lower cost.
Is that because
removal.
He's good, or just entrenched is same card?
Entrenched makes any card good.
Yes. There we go. Yeah. I think he's really good with Chewbacca, kind of mid elsewhere. He's a trooper. You could Soggy-Toggy him. You could
Toggy.
You could do Precision Strike or whatever that new event was called for red, but
Is blue still like definitively the worst of the aspects so far? I think so.
not hero-wise, but some of their stuff just feels so weird. Because we're getting
Hero-wise,
to
they've got some great stuff. Yeah, I was just looking
in
at
two
the stuff
cards.
that's
We're about to
coming
get
up
to an
next.
insane card. Probably arguably one of the
Yeah.
best cards in the game right now.
I would agree. I think that is probably the best
But
card in
We'll
the
get
game.
there in a second.
But, yeah. Anyway,
alright.
go ahead.
Any other
Next
thoughts
card.
on Fighter?
He's good. I said all I can say.
I trust you. I was definitely here for all of it, heard all of it, trust you fully. Flock, you have the next one, right?
Partisan Insurgent. Unit ground, 2-cost red, a 1/4 rebel trooper. While you control another red unit, this unit gains raid 2. I like it. If you got a lot of red units, this could be a very good card in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you pay 2 for a 3/4, You're very, very happy.
Yep.
If you pay 2 for a 1-4, a little bit sad.
It needs grit.
Now, what if you entrench it?
Yeah,
Great card. Great card. Grit. So good card.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's actually pretty good. The high raid value stuff kind of feels weird, but 4 health makes him live pretty decently. But it does feel bad if people attack into him and they only take 1 back. But I'm more of a fan of him than when I originally read him spoiled. He's been better than I thought in Sabine, because even though he's just like, he's not a heroism unit, but he is a rebel, so he works with a lot of synergies on that end.
Yep. I can't wait for like decks that are gonna have both buffing rebel and trooper. This could be very good, very strong.
Yep.
You'd put him with the snowtrooper from villain, the red snowtrooper, with overwhelm. Entrench it. So good.
Every card we need to just be like, how good is this?
Entrench it.
Entrenched?
Well, but is it entrenched good?
Yeah.
It's entrenched good.
That is a card I've come around. I never thought it was bad, but I was always nervous about playing it. But now it's like, anytime I play a blue deck, that's like one of the first 3 ofs for
Yep.
me.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So good.
Pretty good.
All right, now on to the card we were referencing just a second ago. This is Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight. He is a 7-cost ground unit. He is a blue hero, 6 attack, 7 health, Force Jedi Rebel, restore 3. And it says, when played, give an enemy unit -3/-3 for this phase. If a friendly unit was defeated this phase, give that enemy unit -6/-6 for this phase instead. And he's a legendary. And also, for anybody unsure, if you play this on a card that has 6 health and you -6 health them, they are defeated. So essentially, he can come down and work a little bit like Dooku. He's
This card
insane.
is a menace.
Absolutely insane. So good. Restore 3 is crazy. I get 6/7's a little bit below curve, whatever, for ground, for paying 7, but restore 3 and that on-plate effect is insane. He is a card that I absolutely am going to want 3 of come. And I love some people were making fun of the art. I love this art. I think this looks fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm going to want a hyperspace of him, and my bank account's going to cry. But this, I'm in love with this. I sing at the highest praise. There's a lot of good 7 drops. We've talked about this before of like Mace and Han, which I think are also good, but I think Luke is better than both of them. He's amazing. I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Huge menace. He's a huge menace. He's gonna be such a problem. Restore 3 is so big. Ugh. Great card. Great card.
Dude, all the 7
Even better
drops,
with the next card.
all the 7 drops have actually been pretty good. Like across the board.
Dooku, Mace, Han.
Yeah, Dooku,
Luke.
Mace, Han, Luke. Is that it?
So far, yeah. There's been no other. I think that's it.
Yeah. 97th Legion.
Yeah, I didn't count.
But that's a single aspect card. But yeah, so far all the 7
Well, I
drops
think that card's great.
have been yeah, I mean it's probably fine in draft, but that wasn't Flock's intention. He sucks. But yeah, so I'm curious to see. So we still have other ones to see. I'm sure there's going to be Vader coming as well. So I'm curious how Luke compares to that, what Vader's ability is as well. But right now, like Hero just feels really good because they have a lot of good 7 drops, and then Home 1 as well.
No, Home 1's busted.
Yeah, Home 1's real good.
That's what I'm saying. The drip drop of the villain releases is driving me nuts, dude.
But villains, like if you can get past the 7 and the 8, and then get to 9, villain
Look at all this.
villain goes crazy.
Everything we talked about so far. We got the Chimera. Sucks.
Bro,
brother.
you're about to get the
Great.
Ruthless Raider, the Avenger. That's it. We get
The
That's what I'm
Avengers?
saying. That's it.
Scout Bike.
That's it. Everything is so much better. Scout Bike. Anyway, next card. Jedi Light. Anything else to say before I move on?
No.
No. So this card pairs real nice with Luke. Jedi Lightsaber, 3 cost, Hero Blue, attached to a non-vehicle unit. If attached unit is a Force unit, it gains on attack. Give the defender -2/-2 for this phase. Jedi Lightsaber, item weapon lightsaber, +3/+3. Good.
Insane.
Nice.
Dude,
Pretty good.
the way that minus interacts in this game makes stuff like this card insane. Like think about even on like a low cost unit like Yoda. Yoda's what, a 2/4? So now he's a 5/7. But he can kill a 7 health unit. Like for example, he could kill Tarkin. The turn it comes out because he swings him for 5, but he gives it -2. So it's really like he only has to do 5 damage for it. And this card's crazy. I mean, I even played it on Akbar against Flock. And just Akbar became a 4/7 and was just smacking
with Restore 1
people with the Jedi lightsaber. With Restore 1 as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't get the attack, but I mean it's the same thing as the Fallen lightsaber we've talked about. Sometimes it is just good to play a 3/3/3 on a unit.
I've been so wrong about upgrades. So wrong. I was not about it, and now I can't, like... Whew, these are so... Fallen especially is amazing. This is amazing.
I can't wait for these upgrades to like say like roll out a D6. I can't wait. It's gonna happen. It's gonna freaking happen. Well, that's like Destiny. Instead of them coming out with a die, they're gonna say roll a D6.
No, thank you. I mean, there is room for that. I mean, Fab.
Or roll a D4. You don't know.
Well, probably more likely a D6. That's what Scabskins was.
Capstone, stop it with the fab, please, God.
But yeah, Jedi lightsaber, real good. At worst, it's a 3/3/3, and people like the Fallen lightsaber for that as being a 3/3/3. And this is just as good. Just as good.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next one. Flock, you have this one.
Battlefield Marine. A unit, ground, 2 cost, green good guys, a 3/3 rebel trooper with no text.
Perfect.
I don't gotta read. I just see the 2, and I go, okay, I can pay it. Give me more of these. I want more of these cards.
It's hero clock.
I agree that there's like a need for a little bit more like generic.
Yeah, there actually are a lot of like everything is like, okay, it's got something. Let me read this. You know, it's like we need more just dropping a.
I want to turn my brain off when I play this game.
That's why I play. My brain's all day at work. It's on all day at work. So when I come home, I don't want to think.
That's cap. We'll need to look into that one.
Okay.
But yeah, 2/3/3, really good early game. 3 doesn't get traded into a lot for turn 1 plays. I know the Stormtrooper does.
Greedo
does.
Viper Probe Droid does, I think, 3/2.
Yeah, I mean, so there are things out there, but you're definitely getting above that 2 health. I think puts you at a really good curve. I think he's really good in an aggro deck and in a stall out deck. Like it's really good in Leia to go aggro. It's got the Rebel tag. It's got the Trooper tag. But also I really like it in my Chewie and my Luke decks because it can help clear out the board to then make it to round 6, round 7, etc. Yeah, common. This is going to be a good draft card. Good early draft card, definitely.
Yep.
But yeah. I'm going to pull rank.
Yeah, take the next 2.
I'm going to say the next one, but I'm also going to take the one after that.
Yeah.
So the next one's Echo Base. 30 health base, just green, has the Hoth tag. It's a common. They are doing 2 for each color. 1 like a hero themed and 1 villain themed. Nothing to say about this. But the next one that we have is the Cantina Bouncer. This community. I love it, but I hate it so much. Who voted for Cunning on the first Twitter poll, dude? Man, we're coming off so much Cunning. I think I voted for Command because I want to make Haramano really good. But we voted Cunning. So we got Cunning. Double aspect Cunning. 5 cost, ground unit, Cantina Bouncer. 3 attack, 5 health. The fringe tag. That seems terrible, but on the when played says you may return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand. This is really good. It amps up. Boba's still like the only mono deck that I'm looking at. Mono yellow deck, but I mean, if you're running mono yellow, you're running this card. And I think all these mono or double aspect of the same color cards are going to be really good because you need to give people a reason to play these decks. But yeah, I mean, this is really Waylay costs 3. And so essentially you can look like you're playing Waylay and a 2-drop. A 2-drop that's a 3/5. I think all of us will play that. If I offered you a single aspect yellow 2/5 or 3/5, you would all play that.
I don't play yellow. Oh.
True.
No, that's good.
I think
I wish I would have played it.
I yelled
at
Flock because he showed his
I got
resources.
yelled at.
He he resourced 2 of these. I was like, what are you doing?
To be fair, the first one I'm pretty sure was on like turn 1.
That's fine. That is fine. But
I'm
the
pretty
other
sure
one,
the first one was on turn 1.
The other one.
The other one I probably should have kept.
Yes, the other one we did the math. You like resourced the turn you could have played.
Yeah.
Because it's such an insane tempo swing. You now get a 3/5, and they now lose a unit. Any unit too. There's no restriction on. I mean, not leader, but yeah. Really good. Really, really good. All right, Brian.
This is what I meant when I said earlier I would rather play anything other than the Chimera as far as capital ships goes. The Avenger, a unique space unit, 9-drop, blue villain, 8/8 Imperial vehicle, capital ship. When played on attack, an opponent chooses a non-leader unit they control, defeat that unit. That's humongous. That is real good, real spicy. My only complaint said is blue. And blue's ick, you know.
Krennic, dude.
But it's fine.
This goes right
It's
in your
fine.
If you get this off, this could be very good. Dude, when played and on attack.
Yeah, both is huge.
So keep in mind, the on
Holy.
attack, you're not going to defeat 2 units because the on attack happens before the damage is dealt. Like, think Boba as well. So they could defeat the unit that you're attacking, but that means that your 8/8 is not taking any damage, right? So if you attack into, I don't know, their system
TIE Fighter.
control.
One.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe TIE Fighter. I was just thinking something you had to go into. But like a
home
3/4 or a home 1, yes.
Oh,
home 1's
okay.
what, 7/7?
Yeah, I think.
So it's like, yes, they could defeat home 1, and now there's no interaction and damage. But then if they defeat another unit, yes, you go down to 1 health left, but now you defeated home 1 and another unit. So if they just keep defeating the unit that you're attacking, then you're probably okay. But also, if you go 8 in the base, they now have to defeat a unit as well. So it's very good. But if it's a Sentinel and they defeat the Sentinel, I can see it feeling bad. But you're still looking at a positive trade because you took no damage.
See, this is something that I would probably like. This is a blue-green type of thing where I would probably put like a blue-green Krennic, play this, ECL it out, so then you're getting the on-played and one attack.
You can't ECL.
6 or
ECL.
less.
Oh, it's
6
6
or
or
less.
less. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my bad.
You would need
I'm still new to the 25 cost bases.
Clearly.
I can't even wedge it out.
I mean, Pia
oh my
is
god.
those green ramp decks. Pia is a fine.
Yeah. Oh, Pia too. Yeah. No, but there is ways you can do it. So I mean, getting a double effect on that, like that would be massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, play the green, ramp it up, DJ, resupply.
Yep.
You'll make it.
Yep. All right, Flock, you got the next one. Another no text card. You are
Let's
feasting.
go. All right. Academy training. Upgrade. 2 cost green. It's a +2/+2. I mean,
Great job.
it's good. It's just like the Jedi lightsaber, the 3/3/3. This is a 2/2/2. I mean,
2/2.
yeah.
That is
I
true.
will say that I like the sabers better because there's more of an upside, where this has like no potential for an extra upside.
Yeah.
But I don't think the card's bad. Like even I don't know. Like if you played Iden green and you slap this on her when she comes down. Entrenched is a 3/3, but this is 2 for 2/2.
Yeah.
Like, I still think it's decent. Don't love it. Don't know if it makes a constructed deck, but I don't think it's like the worst card in the world or anything like that.
I can
It's a
see it being
6
pretty
round.
good in something like that you want to keep a restored unit alive,
Yeah.
So giving them 2 extra health with 2 extra damage.
Draft. Just draft.
It's common. I mean, it's gonna be good in draft, dude. Dude, all the time I undervalue just big units in draft. Sometimes I'm like, let me get these all cost efficient cards, but they're all low cost, and then someone drops like a 6-drop that's just really good, and I can't kill it. That happened to me a decent amount in Destiny and also in One Piece as well. Yeah. All right. On to the next one. Next one is Ruthless Raider. It is a space unit, villain aggression. Has 4 attack, 6 health. It's an Imperial vehicle, capital ship, and it has a when played / when defeated, deal 2 damage to an enemy base and 2 damage to an enemy unit. Really good. I mean, the villain red decks right now are what, like Tarkin and Vader?
Yeah.
Essentially. Is there a reason not to include it in either of these? I mean, Tarkin, this helps close because Tarkin can sometimes struggle in that sense, but Vader seems like a good option too. Can ping with it.
My Vader deck. That's good.
Oh, that's terrible then.
My Iden deck.
Yeah. Yeah. Drop
And
6
did you read the
Iden at
card,
same
Jack?
time?
Did you see that? It says and.
And Brian can ECL this in, dude.
Oh,
I
you
could've
can?
used those. Yeah.
You can go crazy with this thing.
Huge.
The 4 attack feels a little weird, but I mean, obviously with the when played, you can get much more value out of it. Or when defeated as well. So, but yeah. Any other thoughts?
ECL it. You could ECL it, swing for 8 technically, pretty much, and then 4 to base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you play it, it's a 4/6. You've now deal 4 damage onto the board as well, and when defeated, you deal 4 more. So it's like you can get 12 damage worth
Mm-hmm.
out of it with 1 attack.
Humongous.
All right.
I like it.
Next
Me?
one.
Red 3. Unique space unit, 3 cost, unstoppable. Red hero, 2/3 rebel vehicle fighter, raid 1 each other. Friendly hero unit gains raid 1. It's great. Pretty good card. I don't play hero, so not my style, but pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, like I talked about with Sabine, I think it's fantastic. It's in space, so it's a little bit harder to get rid of. I think the Imperial Interceptor is probably like the biggest counter to it. But yeah, I mean, this is really good. Sabine turn 1 into red 3, Insurgent turn 1 into red 3. Like all this stuff is really, really good.
Yep.
And it's a rare. Oh, Avenger was a legendary, by the way. Going back. This is your blue villain legendary as well.
Cool.
All right. I mean, any other thoughts on this? Is a really good card, and there's not much to say.
It's really good. Yeah.
Say about it. Cool. All right, Brian, you're the Krennic guy. You got this next one.
Sure.
I can't believe
Skip
Flock
the
gets the
Flock.
next card. Actually, that's funny.
Are we skipping Flock? I just read red.
Well,
3.
this one should be.
Oh,
me.
sorry.
Yeah,
See,
this
I was
one should
messing
be-
up.
Yeah. I was gonna go with it, but it's fine. All right, so we got
I think
Scout
you
Bike
Flock high,
Pursuer,
that's the thing.
unit ground, a 2-cost blue bad guys, a 1/4 Imperial Trooper, has grit. Yeah, good, especially in decks that want to take damage.
Yeah, I think
Correct.
Krennic loves this. I think Iden
Yeah.
loves it a little less, but still good.
Read.
Yeah.
Good
And
card.
I don't think any
Yep.
other villain deck brings a blue base.
Yep. Nope.
But yeah, I dig him. I think it's a really good 2-drop for those decks as well, which kind of felt awkward on turn 1, but yeah, this is good. Also note, it's not a vehicle. It's just an Imperial Trooper. The Snow Speeder meta is not coming out just yet.
I do think it's interesting to see that some cards are like Imperial but not villain, and then there are cards coming up as Rebel but not Hero. Like, it's interesting how they decide the aspects of these cards sometimes.
Some of them definitely make sense. Like you're referencing 2 tubes. Like it's probably fair that
Two
he has a
Tubes is
rebel tag,
neutral.
but he's not here.
He's neutral. He's like a
But then stuff
Saw
like
Gerrera guy. Yeah,
what's his face from Rebels, Callus.
like a regional governor. Oh yeah, Callus.
Like he even has the Imperial tag, but then is not.
Mhm.
But anyways, Flock, I'll give you this next one though. Flock, why don't you go ahead and take it?
Oh, thank you. So we got Iden Versio. So our action is if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, heal 1 damage from your base. She comes out on 6 as a 4/4. As an Imperial Trooper. She is shielded, and also when an enemy unit is defeated, heal 1 damage from your base. And we talked about in the past. I think she's gonna be very good. Personally, very good ability. Gonna have lots of fun.
Define fun.
Me winning, maybe.
Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Brian sat down and looked up the records.
Well, Iden wasn't out yet.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about that.
Yeah, biggest comparison will be Krennic. Think she looks fine, but we'll
Yep.
see how she plays out. All right, I'll take the next one then, since I gave that to Flock. The next one is a 1-drop ground unit, Spec Force Soldier. Talked about him a little bit in my Sabine deck. He is a hero red symbols. He is a 2 attack, 2 health, rebel trooper. When played, a unit loses Sentinel for this phase. Really, really good. I think all the red decks that exist want to play him. Maybe not Han, but I still think his when played is good enough to where you don't care, and we'll still play him anyways. Like Luke, he's insane because you can shield him turn 1. Sabine, it's really good because it can let the rest of your units just go on through and not have to worry about Sentinel. I think he's really, really good and pretty good to include in a lot of these decks. He's actually kicking Greedo out, I think, for me. And Greedo was an auto-include for a while. But yeah.
Interesting.
I should probably hit the next button so people can actually see him on the stream. If anybody's actually watching on YouTube. But yeah, he's really good. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
Nah, solid 1-drop. He's hero. I
1,
can't
2,
use
2.
him, so.
Cool. Go ahead, Brian.
Precision Fire, a 1-cost red event. Attack with a unit, it gains Saboteur for this attack. If it's a trooper, it also gains +2/+0 for this attack. Ignore Sentinel and defeat the defender's shields. I think that's pretty solid. And I said earlier that this is something I might include in my Vader deck. This is one of those things where like villain doesn't have Saboteur, so I could either do this or I could do the other one with Jin on it. I don't remember what it is. It's Infiltrator's skill.
It's the 1-drop +1 +1.
And it just gains it gains Saboteur, which like feels bad because that goes away. This is one of those things where it's kind of like a cheap get out of jail free card, whereas the other one you can get waylaid, you can get defeated. So it's like a good Snowtrooper Lieutenant with Saboteur and 1 less. So
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I think it'll be a very good possible sideboard card.
Yeah, I agree.
Just have to count how
It
many
could be
troopers
in my
you have in
actual
your deck.
deck. Yeah.
True.
For Vader, this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you ever pay
Yep.
one really to just gain Saboteur. I think you're only doing this if you have a decent amount of troopers so you can consistently get off the +2.
Yes.
So are you saying this would be good even if you don't care about the Saboteur for the +2? Because then you would not worry about a sideboard. Because I was thinking about if shields are an issue and your deck can't really handle it, you'd sideboard this in a deck that you're going against that's going to have shields. But okay, yeah, I can see that. Play one for +2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, because if I'm really, really that concerned about shields, I almost would rather run the upgrade to consistently deal with it. Because this is just a one-turn thing, whereas, like, if you play the upgrade, you could, like, attack twice, get rid of shields twice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, if this didn't have the +2 and it was just attack this unit against Saboteur, I don't think this is played nearly as much. But the fact that it's Saboteur and +2, like, we're currently paying 2 for +3. Paying 1 for +2 is crazy.
I think it's pretty solid.
Cool. All right, who's got the next one? Is it Flock now?
I do, yeah. Attack Pattern Delta. That's a tactic. A 3-cost, a double green. Give a friendly unit +3/+3 for this phase. Give another friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. Give a third friendly unit +1/+1 for this phase. Yeah, and mono green I think is a very good card.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what mono green really love. I mean, Leia, this probably seems the best because you can then quickly attack with 2 of them. But I do hate cards that I play that you can then interact with. Like if I give something a +3/+3 and you exhaust it, I'm gonna cry a little bit. Then also, it's not like you can trade up crazy effectively because I don't know, if I attack with a 2/2, that's now a 5/5, but you deal 3 back. When this effect wears off, that unit dies anyway. So it does let you trade up, but your stuff also then dies. I was mostly hoping for something that would be like crazy with Hera, because that's like the only mono green I want to run right now. And this doesn't feel like amazing necessarily, but I mean, it's probably worth an include. But I'm not like crazy excited about it like I would be to include the bouncer, the Cantina bouncer, whatever it was for yellow.
Yeah, this has a pacing issue. As far as like, you can definitely, this can bite you if you don't capitalize off of it. And I think, I mean, you also need to have 3 units on the board at the same time, which isn't always a thing that you can do. I mean,
and able to attack and do something.
Yeah, and able to attack. So like, again, if you're doing this at the beginning of the round, like, I don't know. I think that there are definitely ways to play around this. Say for example, and I don't think this would ever happen, but say for example, you do this and then someone on the other side of the table drops an outmaneuver.
I mean, yeah. I mean, cunning
I
too,
mean, like
right? Like when you're
cunning,
playing
like
against mono, you
yeah, if
bounce
you're
the
playing against
3/3 and you exhaust the 2 and the 1. Yeah.
like this could be a sideboard card. I wouldn't play this against yellow ever. You know,
Yeah.
you're just asking for 3 resources and a card to be wasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
I
it
think
has
like I
potential
said,
later, but like
it's just so weird. You need 3 units out, 3 units able to attack. I mean, I do think paying 3 for the +3 and the +2 is still fine. So you could still just need 2 units, but even then, if you do it to 2 units and they exhaust your 3/3 and then you can attack with the +2/+2, like that still feels kind of bad. And the most value you get out of this, I feel like, is going into base. So like if you pay 3 and you deal 6 extra into base, like that is pretty good. But
if you can get them all off.
and that's you need
Full
to
mast.
play the card. They take an action. You attack with your 3/3. They take an
Right.
action. You attack with your 2/2. They take an action. You attack with your 1/1. A lot of moments in which they can mess with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is definite mitigation you can have. So
And that's why
not
Leia is the
sold
most
on it.
interesting with it. But even then, like a mono green Leia deck kind of seems weird. Because with her ability is like, if they're both rebel units, even if they exhaust your 3/3, you can then attack with the 2 and the 1 in the same action.
Yep.
But yeah.
be a no for me, boss.
No for me, boss. All right. Am I next?
You are.
All right, next is a 4-cost ground unit, K2SO. Cassian's counterpart is a hero, red, 4 attack, 4 health, a rebel, and a droid, has overwhelm, and says when defeated, for each opponent, choose 1. Either deal 3 damage to that player's base, or that player discards a card from their hand, and he is a rare. I love him. I feel currently weird within my Sabine deck to include him. We will see what Cassian is, because I'm 90% sure this now means Cassian is going to be our other red hero. We'll see what Cassian does and how that interacts there. But I think K2SO is just a great card in general. I mean, I think he's probably worth playing, and there's probably an argument that he should be in my Sabine deck as well. But yeah, I love him. Overwhelm. And then they're going to have to deal with him eventually. And then you can deal 3 more damage. Entrenched
Yeah,
with
you
overwhelm.
entrench him.
Entrenched with overwhelm. Actually, unironically,
Huge.
is a good.
Huge.
Red
Huge.
blue
Yeah.
is Luke,
Stonks are up, dude. Stonks are up.
but I want force units in my Luke deck, and he's not a force unit. I
You
don't think
can't
the,
always get
the
what you
droid
want.
trade does not matter at all.
No, he's good though. I like him. He's hero. I'm not gonna use him, but he's good.
Love the
I like him.
artwork.
Yes, that's perfect. The catching of the grenade is well nice.
Yeah.
I love that scene in Rogue One.
Cool.
Me,
Brian finishes us off.
Ben Thick, with 2 C's, 2 tubes. He's a 1-cost ground unit red, 2/2 rebel trooper on attack. Another friendly red unit gains raid 2 for this phase. That's a great 1-drop. And he is just red, so there are options for both sides to use him, which is very cool. I dig him.
I was trying to find it, but apparently they just originally had him named 2 Tubes, but then they realized that he has a twin brother. And Tyler mentioned that. Originally, Benthic was just named 2 Tubes, but once someone pointed out to me that Edrio was also named 2 Tubes, we had to add his first name. So there's Edrio and Benthic. 2 Tubes. They both look
Benthic?
exactly the same. One has like a... It looks like Edrio has like a support life chest plate, and Benthic doesn't. So that's how an easy way to tell them apart. He seems really good. Love him. You have to declare who it is. Somebody, I think, asked if you could not say who you give the raid to, but you have to say who it's going to. But yeah, he seems really good. Even though he doesn't have that hero, he's not as loved in a Luke deck, but an aggro deck. Seems really good. We did it. We got through all 30 of them, guys.
We gotta start recording more often, just so we don't gotta do 30 cards.
Hey, so
That was
if
a
I didn't have
lot.
to make the images for 30 cards, that'd be great as well.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, we'll see whether or not we record before Christmas. This probably lasts us through the new year. I don't know how many spoilers we'll get or news. We do have the stream tomorrow, so at least 2 to 3 spoilers there.
Hey, yo.
You might be happy, Flock, because they get to bring the decks they want, and Jeremy's playing, and Jeremy has talked nothing but praise for Boba, so there's probably some type of yellow card in there.
I'm
I
bummed.
want
I missed
Aiden.
this.
I don't know
He's
Aiden.
moved on.
I moved on.
Friendship with Boba over. Aiden's
It's
your
over.
best friend.
Yep.
Where
As
Yeah.
you can see, Aiden.
all right, we're gonna move on to some listener questions. Any other thoughts? Right, this covers everything we've talked about.
Yeah. Good
Cool.
sets. Good sets of cards so far.
Yeah, it's looking real good. But I'm gonna start off on Twitter, and this one is from Domain Hater HD, I believe is how you say. He asked the question before. I feel like I should clarify that, but D and then O MIN 8 and then R. Dominator.
And visualize it.
Do you think we will ever see 3 aspect cards or maybe a dual aspect base? 3 sounds like a lot, but I think a dual aspect base could be cooked up. Could be 23 health, 20 health. Because then you're
Dual
getting
aspect
4 things.
base sounds like something that, like the One Piece have leaders that are 2 colors that have a life penalty.
Yep.
Like there are ways it could be done. Like maybe it's a dual color but no flavor text that has an ability that's 25, or maybe
Yep.
it is 23, maybe it's 20. Who knows? I think that's definitely possible, and hopefully possible. I'd run it.
3 aspects sounds like a lot, though.
3 aspect just gets messy.
I mean, but they could. Like a hero, green, red.
They're smarter than I am, so it's possible.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, a hero, or even like a hero and then double aspect, like hero, double green. Like, they could definitely push the boundaries of some cards. And they still could slot into some decks. But if you say 3 aspects, I feel like one of them would have to be hero or villain.
Mm.
Like, if.
The Force Ghost of Obi-Wan.
Yeah. A hero, double
Blue hero.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, because if you do triple aspect of any, like if you did 2 green and a red, you're gonna have to pay 2 extra no matter what. Because unless there are the double bases or something. Because like you play Hera, essentially that hero aspect is
that's
meaningless
fair.
for that card. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I think both those combinations could be in the future for us. Next up question is from Roll On Gaming. Shout out to Kevin and Corwin. If you haven't checked out their stuff on YouTube, encourage you to do so, especially if you are a Thrawn player. Kevin's been going through what is the best Thrawn deck and how to play him, and he's been uploading some gameplay and deck lists for that as well. So be sure to check him out if you're interested in any of that, or just looking for more SWU, like I always am. But Kevin Ass says, are you concerned at all about the eventual health of the game if decks skew towards one strategy or another? For example, aggro or control. Is there concern that this game favors one of those over the other?
I think it's too early to tell. Honestly, I mean, I don't think that they will. And even if it's, I feel like the games that we've played so far are a toss-up as to who would win. Like, there's no real clear, like, Boba's really strong, but Boba isn't invincible. You know? I feel like there's
The game's pretty
definite-
balanced.
Yeah, I think the game's very balanced. The card pool is gigantic.
252.
I think, yeah, 252. I think that there are definite strategies you could deploy to counter anything, and that's where the sideboard comes in too. Like the sideboard is something that we haven't really even discussed that much. You know, like
Yeah, we just play with the
And
decks
it-
we make and see where it goes.
yeah, there's unlimited possibilities.
Yeah.
So, I'm not worried yet.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to ask me if I had a concern about the first store showdowns, yeah, maybe I'm worried about Sabine being too good in that. But in overall health of the game, yeah, I mean, it's obviously impossible to say when sets 2 and 3 come out. But, I mean, I think half a set that we've gotten so far lends itself to mid-range a little bit anyways. But, I mean, I think we've all been impressed by Krennic. We've been impressed by Luke. Sabine, obviously, like I said. I think Vader's pretty good. Jin seems like she might be decent. So a lot of these like mid-range to control decks also seem to be pretty good. Now, yeah, I mean, I think Thrawn is bad. I think IG's bad. But, IG's in aggro and he's bad. So, I mean, I think it really will depend.
Inquisitor, same way.
Grand Inquisitor, I feel like we'll end up where IG is bad anyways at the end of the set, or like C tier at least. Whereas Grand Inquisitor, it's like, all right, in these last 90 cards, are there 3 that make him busted?
Busted?
Dude,
interesting word.
He could be a combo. If there's like a combo piece where they could do like 20 damage a turn, it could be out there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Dude, think about how
IG
insane.
still sucks, though.
Think about how insane Fifth Brother is though with Grand Inquisitor. We just
Fifth
don't
Brother
play
is
that
very
because
Yeah.
there's nothing else. There's 3 cards in my 50 deck that work with him. Yeah, I'll
bro,
play
it's so good.
But yeah, I don't feel like this game skews anyway. And if aggro does take over, you can bump up back to those 30 health bases to try to counter that a little bit.
Block, do you have opinions?
No.
Dude, he's blowing his nose trying to survive over there.
Yeah,
I was going to say, this man is
dude.
fighting for his life over here.
Yep, I'm dying.
We got 2 more on Twitter. One is from Chick Donovan and says, "What lesser-known heroes and villains do you all want to see in the Clone Wars set, Twilight of the Republic?" So this is set 3. So I know you're highlighting set 2 leaders, but that is not. Dude, personally, I would love to see something like Ponkrell.
Oh,
Dude, like defeats one of your own units to like ready something else.
Ponkrell.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's the point. He's such a good character, though.
Yeah.
He's
Is
excellent.
he, there's 16 leaders?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, depending if they do starters again. Is he the top 8 in villain side for that? I don't know. I mean, I think so. But he would be my vote of who I would want to see. I would also want to see like some of like the lesser Starlight Jedi, but also like Kit Fisto and Plo Koon. Like I would love to see them as leaders as well. But do they make the 8 is the question.
I know you really want to see Ki-Adi-Mundi.
If Ki-Adi-Mundi is not printed in this game ever at all, at any time, as a unit, as a leader, as an art at all, I'd be okay. Absolutely worst Jedi of all time ever.
Yeah, I agree. Mace Windu is a close second. I want Quinlan Voss and Asajj Ventress, and I want them to have a synergy.
You may include Quinlan Voss in your deck without aspect penalty or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that if you haven't read, I think it's Dark Disciple.
Yep, that's a good book.
Dark Disciple is an excellent book. Excellent book.
Yeah, and I mean, there's precedent for that in Hera of including out of aspect cards at no penalty cost. So, yeah, I could dig that. Flock, what about you?
Oh, I know the least about all this lore.
Who's a character you love from Clone Wars that you want to see in the game?
I don't remember most of their names besides the main ones. To be honest,
you're batting 100, Flock.
Give a description. We can help you out. Help charades. First syllable.
What color lightsaber did they have? All right, so we'll go on to the next one, and it is from Lightsaber Larry. It says, who do you think the rare red hero leader is, and what do you think the ability could be given some of the spoiled aggression cards? Be shocked. I would bet money that it is Cassian. Do you guys have any other?
No, it's
I think like
be.
Saul's been, but it has to be lower than Sabine. I think the way the spreadsheet works. So it could not be Saul because Saul's after alphabetically. So it would have to be something alphabetically before Sabine. Cassian fits in. It makes sense.
I would think that Saul Guerrera will be a leader at some point, but I don't think it would be this one.
That's not the question, Brian.
I'm saying that's the only other option it could be besides Cassian.
That's not the question.
What do you mean?
I'm just messing with you.
I was like, that is the question. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, I think you're right, Jack. I would agree.
I agree.
What do you think he would do? I wonder if he could like.
So what's the other red?
I mean, Sabine is exhaust deal damage.
I have no idea.
I wonder if there's something where you can like deal damage directly. Well, no, I mean Sabine.
Yeah.
Doesn't. I wonder if you could give out like raid or something. But even then, IG does that. So I don't know. There's some overlap to where he's probably.
What if it was literally like the opposite of Jin, where it was just like action get +1 damage on an attack, just in general. +1,
Yeah,
+0.
So Jin prevents you from taking one, but you can deal.
Yeah, like maybe casting's like complete opposite, or the inverse, not the opposite, but
What if
something
he
like that.
What if you give Saboteur?
No, don't ever talk to me or my son ever again.
That'd be something. That's something we haven't seen yet. If that's the only thing I can think of that would be unique through. I mean, I don't think. I don't know how you'd balance that though. I mean, it'd be the same thing as Luke, where like attack with this unit, it gets Saboteur, or same thing as Luke, where like if you attack with him as the deployed side, you get Saboteur. I don't know. It has to be something that we haven't seen yet. You know, that's the only keyword I could think of.
I feel like it's going to be some type of interaction with dealing damage to the base for me. What that means, don't know. If the first time you deal damage, you could give Saboteur to another unit or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Or if it was like something like, even if it was like when attacking the enemy base, you get +1.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to think of
So
thematic things.
I mean, all those sound pretty decent.
Yeah.
All right, on to some Facebook questions. First up, our number one wannabe top fan, Dan Ulrich, asked, if Finn works in sanitation, how did he end up on Jakku? Dan, watch the movie. That's how he got there. But I guess the question, is the opening scene on Jakku? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, where all the stormtroopers
Yes, it is
land.
Jakku.
It's on
Yeah.
Jakku. Yeah, so I mean, I guess the question is, why are you sending the sanitation down on to that first attack? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question. After that, you can see why he got there. But yeah, I guess if you want to ask, why are they sending the janitor down to raid a village? They needed the bodies. That I don't know. Pete Stalker has 2 questions. He says, will Brian Arrington, with 2 R's, buy way too many boxes?
Probably.
If 6 is way too many, then all of us are buying way too many. Beyond that, Brian might be uncontrollable. Who knows?
Brian bought 7.
My lust knows no limits, Pete.
And then his other Joe
I will do what
question
I
is,
must.
will Joe play this game, or will he continue to hide in his Transformers corner? That corner's got to be lonely because it's been canceled for... The game started after Destiny and got canceled before Destiny. So you know how terrible that was. And then Joe also responded, said too soon. All right, so into some actual questions. Jason Griffin asks, what is your guess on the percentage of Destiny players that wanted nothing to do with FFG doing a CCG again are going to come back and play SWU? Just for reference, I am one that is going back on my word of not supporting them again. I feel like all 3 of us are probably within that. I mean, we were all probably, when Destiny got canceled, probably a few months after, we're like, all right, I hate FFG, but if they did again, I'd probably buy a little bit. But now we're all buying a lot. So I actually feel like it'll be a good amount because I feel like this is legitimately a better game as well. If you made me give a percentage, I'd say if anybody who actually tries the game, I'd say 60 to 70% of the people who swore off FFG would come and play the game again and buy into it, of people who have actually went and demoed or whatever. Because, dude, think about how many content creators have come back as well. I mean, Unplayable, right? That's Double Blanks and Jedi Trials combined. You have iRebel. You have Saga. You've got Roll On. You've got Echo Base. I'm trying to think of who else. There's definitely other ones that I'm not remembering at the current time. Oh, Garbage Rollers. Well, yeah, Garbage Rollers started at the end. They started to do like videos at the end. Garbage Rollers is back. I mean, like some of the big ones like Hyperloops and ABG aren't back. Artificery's back as well. Like you're probably talking 67% of the podcasts are now back as well for for SWU in general. So, I mean, I think the player base probably would accurately reflect that a little bit too.
85% is my number.
85. Sheesh.
85%.
Flock, what's your percent?
I'd say about 50 probably. I feel like there's a lot of people that probably got caught up in life because it's been a few years and they probably just don't have time to get back into it. I can see that.
Has been a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, by the time it comes out, it's been 5
5
years.
years.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
Did
So-
it get canceled?
2019.
2020.
2024 next year.
January 2020.
I would say I thought it was January 2020. So it'll be 4 years and 2 months.
Because remember we went to Vegas before pandemic
The world-
started?
Yeah.
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 That was 20. Yeah.
I mean, my life is crazy different. So, I mean, I totally get that.
I have no changes. Literally
Hashtag
nothing's
no
going on.
changes. Classic WoW, baby.
Nothing's going on.
All right, and then next question, last one from Facebook before we get into the one from Discord. It's from Brian Piana. Shout out to Jank It Up. Be on the lookout for some stuff from us and him coming in the future. But he says, all signs point to Cassian showing up in this set. Do you think he will be a leader? What other characters are on your leader wish list for this set? I don't know about wish list, but I think it's going to be who's left? Cassian, Palp, and then the blue one. I have no idea for the blue one. For Blue Hero.
Maul.
Did you say Maul?
Yeah.
For Blue Hero?
Yeah, definitely.
Blue Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blue Hero for like Rebels for like that 2 to 3 episodes.
He
where
was
he's,
not
like
Yeah.
hero in any of this.
best friends with Ezra for like a minute and a half
No.
before he
No.
formally
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway,
What makes it tricky is that I believe they said there's only one Spectre leader. Like, I would say Kanan, because it has to be between Chewbacca and Luke Skywalker alphabetically. And so Lando fits in there, but also Tyler said that we are way off about somebody. And I can't imagine we're way off about Cassian. I can't imagine we're way off about Palpatine. So the only one left really for me is Blue Hero. And I just don't know who that would be. Between
Yoda.
Chewbacca and Luke.
All right,
Alphabetically
Destiny
speaking,
binder time. Got my binder.
All right,
Blue Hero. That's villain. Think it has to be a Force user or no?
Oh, I mean, just what Blue Heroes you got? Let's see it.
I mean, you got Ray.
Within the time frame of this entire set.
Oh, my bad.
let's just move on.
Oh my gosh, dude. Bring up the
Let's just-
DB if you really wanted to look through all of them.
I mean, it could be. Could it be Ezra?
They said only one Spectre.
Oh, they did say one Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ezra or Kanan would have been my guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could go, like, if you're looking Rogue One, you could talk about Chirrut. You could, Baze wouldn't be it.
Like Ahsoka, maybe. I don't know.
No, it has to be after Chewbacca.
I was gonna say Cal.
After Chewbacca.
Cal does not fit. What is there any like Jedi users from Battlefront to like be the opposite of
Not really.
Iden? Yeah, I don't think there are either. I mean, I know Luke shows up, but obviously he's already in it.
Yaddle.
Past Luke doesn't fit alphabetically,
Yaddle.
guys. Again, C to L. Come on.
Darn. Yoda.
All right. All right. So moving on to
Moving on.
the next one, which is a three-parter from Jedi Geek Girl from iRebel Gaming. It says, which leader has gotten better the most with the cards that have been revealed since they were first revealed? Some of the ones that have come the longest way, almost like it feels like it's Krennic. Feel like Chewbacca. Boba was always good. Luke always felt pretty good. Vader felt pretty good as well.
Sabine's gone a long way.
I feel like she was really good for the start, though.
Not when she first came out.
Yeah, you did kind of crush me on that. But you were playing Boba
Which-
then anyways.
Yeah.
Leia feels like she's on the come up a little bit. She's starting to look a little bit better.
I think Leia could be good.
Yeah, I don't think Leia was ever necessarily bad. She just didn't have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, I mean, I think Krennic, Chewie, Leia all sound pretty good. I think Hera will definitely look a little better, but we're still waiting for a few more Spectre units. We're still waiting for Zeb and Chopper potentially. Maybe another Hera, like maybe Hera unit, and then maybe the Ghost. So there's still some pretty, and then maybe another event or two. So there's some room for her to grow. Grand Inquisitor's still at the bottom. IG's still at the bottom. Yeah, Sabine's got a good come up. Boba's always been good. Thrawn's still struggling. Han's still middle of the pack. Jyn still has the same card pool, kind of, since she came out. She came out somewhat recently. Yeah, I mean, I would probably say Krennic or Chewie. Both of them feel a lot more private. It was funny when Chewie came out. He almost felt like the best, and then it was like 2 weeks later, it was like, all right, he's terrible because there's more synergy elsewhere.
Yeah, I think Krennic is my vote. Krennic definitely feels, especially with Dooku, feels like he,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking because Blue, like, out the gate has been just odd.
Well, I mean,
Not
everything
necessarily
was based
bad,
on the
like,
starters to go.
Yeah.
So there was blue cards, but they were all like blue hero,
Mm.
and then there was yellow hero, and then it was red villain and red green, and some hero and villains on either side. But yeah, now you got like Death Trooper, then you got the Walker, now you got Dooku, now you have that new 8-9 drop.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some good stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, second question from Jedi Geek Girl says, putting you on the spot, what 16 characters are you predicting as leaders in set 2? And we actually, before this, sat down and decided, and feel free to argue, because it was actually a little hard because we almost tried to put all bounty hunters on there. But what we said, Flock, you good there? You all right?
Yeah.
You just keep highlighting.
Oh, that's just my tick. A little.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do that when like you're thinking, just like highlight or scroll or something. I don't know.
No.
Not really.
Oh
I just sit still.
no, I highlight stuff.
So quick fire shots. Villain blue, we got Asajj and Django. Hero blue, we have Mando and Lando. Villain red, we have Cad Bane and Gar Saxon. Hero red, we have Cal Kestis and IG-11. Villain green, we have Jabba and Moff Gideon. Hero green, we have Bo-Katan and Greef Karga. Yellow villain, we have Dr. Aphra and Beckett. And hero yellow, we have Satine and Maz. I'm sure there's a lot of names popping into people's heads, and you're probably not wrong. These are all random guesses, but we almost still tried to keep it in the same like era a little bit. Like I think, like Flock, you said DJ. I think that's like a decent shout into it. Like there's Aura Singh, there's Bosk. Like there's a lot of good contenders. I think that could be into play, but this is kind of where we ended up. I feel like we included the Mando stuff because I'd be shocked. Like, if they did starters again, like, if they did another 2-player starter for the set, it's got to be, like, Mando versus Moff Gideon, I would feel like.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That'd be sick.
Those are our guesses. IG-11 was, like, the last slot in. We're like, who was aggressive that's a hero underworld theme? Oh, dude, what is... Oh, my gosh. What's the name? I'd peg her as a villain in Bad Batch. I hate her. The Trandoshan that like constantly screws them over, but like gives them work so they have to stay with her.
Oh, don't know the name.
I don't really watch Bad Batch.
Sid.
That's right, Sid. Yep.
Sid. I hate Sid. All the homies hate Sid. But yeah. So that's our list of that. I think there's a lot of potential, but my full sight's still on who is that blue hero leader in set 1. And then last question. This is a question for me. What are your top 5 favorite Han Solo moments from 5 to 1? I think 5 is We're Home when he steps back onto the Millennium Falcon. 4 is Never Tell Me the Odds. 3 is That's Not How the Force Works. Fuck. 2 is when he shoots first. He absolutely does shoot first against Greedo. And number 1 is I Know before he gets frozen.
How'd you have done that without Flock highlighting it for you?
I don't know. That's a good question. Flock really guided me through that. Really appreciate that. And there's probably others that I'm forgetting. I'm definitely due for a Star Wars rewatch. And there's probably some Solo bits, because I did enjoy Solo as well, that I'm probably missing. I did like his bit at the end where he tries to be like buddy-buddy with Lando, and then Lando just flies off. But, there's some good moments. I really like how that actor portrayed Han as well.
Yeah, I like Solo. That was a good movie.
Alden Aaron
Yeah.
or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was definitely like a 6 or 7 movie. I'm not saying it's the best ever, but I enjoyed it. And I want to
I
go
thought it
see
was
movies
fun.
that I enjoy. So,
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
yeah. All right, we are at 2.5 hours. You wanted to be done by 10. We are
sheesh.
15 past.
Yeah,
I do have about a minute to edit out because I ran to the bathroom. But appreciate all the questions. As always, we do really enjoy having the listener questions and hope that you enjoy them as well. Spoilers, ideally that should not be that length again, because hopefully we don't have 30 spoilers to go through. But we enjoyed talking PaxU. We enjoyed talking some of the decks that we had. We got some other stuff in the pipeline coming up and really hoping to ramp up come January, February, so that way we're ready to go when the game comes out. We're going to do a box opening stream. We pretty much confirmed. I just bought the stand so we can zoom in on some of the cards that we pull.
We
Yeah.
call that juicy showcase.
Yeah, one of us.
All of us.
Yeah, I wish.
Mr. Positivity's coming in clutch.
I wish. Yeah, anybody who's listened this far, bless your soul. Merry Christmas. I hope you get no coal and all the joy in the world. But we'll have gameplay videos through Christmas and the holidays, I think. I'm working on some articles, some videos that I'm thinking of trying to do. I can't decide if it's going to be an article or a video, but I got some content in the pipeline that we're working through as well. Any closing thoughts from you guys?
Nope. Just have fun.
Is this game out yet?
Dude, true. Big, real, and true. Hey, we're less than 3 months away.
That's wild.
Who pinned it? It was a general. Gandork pinned it deep. Countdown to 79 days, 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 5 seconds.
Wow.
Sweet.
That's where we're
We're
at.
getting there, boys.
We're getting there. But yeah,
Getting there.
thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you watching. Give us a follow on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on wherever you listen to your podcast at, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever it might be. But appreciate you tuning in, and we will catch you all next time.